And we should be live now. Debate 12. Everyone has been super excited for this one. I'm Ice White, creator of Game Global. I'll be acting as moderator and hosting this debate between Avery Hayden and Mr. Locario. Super chats, $5 USD or more, will be read out, potentially increasing according to demand. Check the pinned message in the chat for that. Quick PSA. I've seen a few guys claiming that we're deleting comments. We're not. It's just convenient for you to blame someone instead of being technologically competent enough to understand that YouTube is filtering out your comments for using certain words. It happened to me
Don't
a
say
few
the
days
F
ago.
word.
I could say that, but yeah, it happens. But it's not us. I literally don't delete comments unless there is something way too extreme that involves serial harassment towards someone. For example, recently I made a comment on a YouTube video. It got 45,000 likes, and some random woke guy was like spamming comments on every fucking video. I was like, okay, goodbye. Aside from that, it's not gonna fucking happen. We don't fucking delete fucking comments unless you're doing something like that. You literally got nothing to worry about. On a similar note, some people are scared shitless to come on here and debate like John Anthony lifestyle. So I want you guys to at least recognize that it takes balls to come on here, even
Mm,
if you don't support that person's ideas.
mm.
Aside from that, let's get straight to the debate. Avery, is there somewhere you would like to start?
Yeah, I would actually like to start by saying there's a lot of people in the whole dating coaching industry who I think are complete bullshit, who like do not help people at all. They do more harm than good. And I would not put Mr. Locario in that category. So I want to make that clear. Like I have a level of respect for him that is higher than a lot of people who just give advice like wear this cologne and then women will approach you and a lot of bullshit marketing kind of hype stuff. So I think he's definitely like his advice. I haven't watched all of your content, obviously. I've seen a couple of your debates is how I'm familiar.
Right.
And the advice is at least practical and actionable, right? So I can see people getting some results from it. I don't think it's complete bullshit. And I think you're better than like the black pillars. I think you're better than the red pillars, which I think is pretty much garbage. So I want to start with that. This is not going to be just I don't want to just hate on each other. I want to understand your perspective
Mm,
and see where we're going to have differences. There's definitely points where we're going to disagree on.
right.
But I want to do it in a way that is trying to understand each other as opposed to just like, you know, insulting each other for 2 hours, because I don't think that's helpful for anyone.
I agree. So let's make it happen. Let's go.
You know, any particular points you want to
Yeah,
start
there
with?
is a thing that I think is because I was just talking about how there's a lot of people who are, to some degree, they're charlatans or frauds or scammers or whatever. So, one of the most important things that I want to talk about is what do you think qualifies someone, or you specifically, qualifies you to be a coach? Like, why is it people should listen to you?
Right. Well, this is another thing. I think for anybody to be a coach, right, they need to know what they're talking about and they need to have extensive experience in what they're teaching. And so the thing is that the information that the audience is getting, it's their job to test out the teachings. Do you see what I'm saying? And so if they test out the teachings and they're saying, hey, you know what? I saw a video where you said this. I tested this out. I've been doing these things. And this is all the free stuff. This is not even the stuff they're paying for, just the free stuff. Test out the free stuff and then see if that's working for you. And so if it's working for you, then that's the thing that qualifies that person to actually be given the information that they're giving. But also on top of that, if the audience can understand what you're talking about, because what you're talking about resonates with their actual life, that's how they make the connection. So for example, if I'm talking about, hey, if you're going out there and you're having a conversation with a woman and you run out of things to say and you get scared to make a move in this direction or you're scared to talk about this, a person watching might say, yo, that happened to me yesterday. That happened to me. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like they're resonating with what's being heard because the coach has been through the same thing they're going through now. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing that can get them to the point where they actually can learn from that person in particular. Now, I think the thing that makes a person not a great coach or not really that good is when they're telling people what they want to hear, or they're selling fantasies to people and not being realistic about certain things. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I agree with most of that. What I would say is people testing it and thinking it works. The problem is it's easy to think something works when it didn't really. So like the whole black pill is kind of based on that premise. Like
Mm,
they'll listen to a Wheat Waffles video that says, if your face isn't a 6 out of 10
mm,
and you're not, tall enough, et cetera, you're going to fail in dating. You're
mm,
just don't even do it.
right.
And the way you know that you shouldn't even do it is, did girls approach you?
Mm,
Have you been asked out a bunch, etc.? And you'll be like, yeah, that's true. And technically, what he's saying is true. It does
mm,
make sense in that paradigm,
mm,
but you can't test it in a way that actually disproves it. So if
mm,
you went out and asked a bunch of girls out, you'd
mm,
probably find out you did get some success,
mm,
right? Like they wouldn't all reject you. They wouldn't all say fuck off. They wouldn't be like, "Oh, you're 5'10, so go kill
mm,
yourself." Like that's not going to happen, right?
right.
But you can listen to someone who sounds very certain what they say it in a compelling way,
Mm-hmm.
they bring up good evidence, and then you can still end up believing the black pill
Mm,
because you feel like you tested it.
mm,
So my problem is people have blind spots to what like actually constitutes, are they getting results or making improvements? Like it's easy to
mm,
think the black pill is helping you when it's not.
mm. Yeah, I agree with that. But this is also too the person, the
Exactly.
audience, also they have to be able to discern whether or not information is good or not. You see what I'm saying? And so what happens is that if they're watching somebody and the information that they're getting, if they're watching somebody and the information they're getting is too close to what they think they know, that person is not really a good coach. So what I mean by that is this: if you're hearing something and the person says, well, you got to be really good looking to get girls and all that other stuff, and then you believe that, and then you're going out there doing that, that coach is not a good coach because they're talking about something that is close to what you already think, right? So a good coach, what they're going to do is they're going to resonate with something that you've been going through, but also teach you something you didn't know. You see what I'm saying? And so the thing is, I always use this example when I used to go to when I was in college. When I went to a Spanish course. I had to take a Spanish course, right? And when I got to the Spanish course, the Spanish professor was speaking 98% Spanish. And I was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I can't even, how am I going to learn how to speak Spanish if I don't even know what you're talking about? So he basically said, I got to get you up to my level, right? So I was feeling uncomfortable in the class because I didn't really understand how to speak Spanish, right? Because I'm not close to his level. So whenever a person is listening to somebody that's close to their level, a lot of times what happens is that's not a good coach because they're on the same level as the student. You see what I'm saying? So it's the student's responsibility to discern, is this person somebody that I should be listening to because I'm getting new information? Or is this somebody that sounds like me? You see what I'm saying? And so a lot of times what will happen is they get fooled and confused because the person that sounds like them, they resonate with it immediately because they think that that person knows what they're talking about because they identify quickly with that particular situation. So you can identify with it, but it still has to be information that is beyond their thought level at that time for them to actually take heed of it. But that's still their responsibility. So in other words, the audience's responsibility is to vet the coach. You see what I'm saying? So they can't just take on whoever just because. You see what I'm saying? And that's the mistake that most guys do.
So yeah, I agree.
Mm,
But what I would say is there can be like 20 different coaches that meet that criteria of challenging their beliefs.
mm,
And so the question is like, there's you, let's say, there's the attractive man, there's Todd V, there's Mystery, there's this guy. They
mm,
all tell them things that are going to require them to take actions outside their comfort zone. They're all telling them things that are like, you can have success. Like if we
mm,
get away from the black pill, red pill, although sadly that's getting more and more popular. Um, if we look at that, how do they choose, like, why would they choose you in this case, as opposed
Right.
to mystery, as opposed to someone else?
Right. And this is where they would have to actually listen to all of the situations, and then they're going to have to choose what actually resonates, but also what works for them. So meaning like, so let's say, for example, somebody might want to pick mystery to coach them on some pickup artist stuff because that's for whatever reason is what's resonating with them. And then they are doing that and they're thinking that's going to work for them. Now they could do that. And then let's say it does work for them. And I'm like, hey, that's good if you feel like that's the thing that works for you. Right. But if it's not working for you, you might say, damn, like I'm just not really feeling this advice is not really working for him. I'm still having these issues. And then they might listen to what I'm saying and they say, oh, this makes more sense to me. I'm doing this and I'm seeing the results from the situation. So what I'm saying is it's the audience's responsibility to still do the work and then actually make the thing happen. The problem is that you have people who are in the audience who don't really know anything, but they're just going along with what sounds better or what feels good to them.
I'd say that's most of the audience.
Right. And that's the thing. So what happens is that they have the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So it's actually not our responsibility to drag somebody into the situation. It's our responsibility to teach what they need to know, and then they have to meet us at that place. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is, I don't try to convince anyone to take my advice. You understand what I'm saying? I give the advice, and if you take it, cool. If you don't, I'm good with that too. You see what I mean? So the thing is that they're the one who need the help. So I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But if they need the help, they're the one that has to actually go out there and do the thing in order to get the help they need. And part of them getting the help
Is the stream good? Because he's
Oh no, he's always in the background eating popcorn. I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Because
it was going off and on.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure the stream's still
camera
working.
overheats and then it causes
Oh, you're using a
Zoom to
pro
crash,
camera?
but it continues regardless of me
Right.
being here anyway. So just ignore me.
Seriously overheated.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. It's just really a thing.
Hello.
It's
Am
the
I here?
person- But yeah, you good. I can hear you. But yeah, it's up to the audience member to really take action for what is going to help them at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, you're here still? All right. I
Yeah,
thought it.
yeah, we all here.
Okay, so the stream's still going. You're just having some technical issues.
Yeah, I think Ice.
No,
Yeah, technically.
I think you froze. You froze for me.
I froze.
Everything
Okay.
else was okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, blame it all on me.
Fair.
Continue.
To me, you disappeared and Locario was still going.
Yeah.
So I think that, okay, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I think as coaches, we have a responsibility to.
Oh, did he freeze?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not me this time.
I think
Lost both of
Avery
us.
froze. I was like, I'm
Damn it.
seeing Ice and I'm good. I don't know. I think
Or he's
Am I
just
still
being
going?
real.
All right,
Okay,
yeah.
you're
Okay,
back.
now
You're
you're
back.
Does that mean my Wi-Fi shit? Bro, I got like the gigabyte Wi-Fi, but
yeah, now you're back. You froze for a second.
okay. And so one of the best ways people have to determine that is client results, right? Testimonials.
Right.
So that's one of the things I think is super important.
Mm.
And whenever I like disagree with someone, I look up, like I try to find their testimonials.
Mm.
And one of the things with you is it was hard to find testimonials.
Mm.
Like on your website, there's a page, but it's just text,
Mm.
right? It's just like, it's text. I could find one on the Mr. Locario website.
Mm.
It's like your videos are really good, you know, you give really good advice, that kind of stuff, as opposed to what I would look for is a video of like a guy who's a virgin who said, I took in-person coaching with this guy and I lost my virginity. And he leaves a video saying that.
Right.
And that's proof that this guy got a result from it.
Mhm.
Because we can both agree there's a lot of charlatans, right? We can both agree there's a lot of people who give bad dating advice.
Mm.
To me, that's one of the best ways, if not the best. Like your own results is a good way. I think showing you get other people results is even more important.
Mhm.
And so if someone doesn't have those testimonials, I'm immediately skeptical.
Right. Well, that's the thing. So when I do my live shows, a lot of people call in with the testimonials. So that's what I'm saying, where the audience did the work and then they say, hey, I bought this and then this worked for me, or I was listening to you for years and I started doing this and this worked. So it's the people who actually call into the live shows that call in and say all this stuff. So the testimonials I have on my website, that's, I just put those up because those are the older ones I put up on the screen. But the thing is that the people who are actually having the results are the ones calling in saying, hey, I did these things and then these things work. Now, again, when I'm teaching, because this is also the part of it too, right? So when I'm teaching guys game, I'm also teaching guys how to trust in themselves, believe in themselves, and tune out everything out in the world, right? And so part of that also is how I'm doing things. So this is what I said earlier, where I was like, I don't care if somebody takes my advice or not, because I know the advice that I give is awesome. So now what happens is that I'm not going to try to prove to anybody that my advice is good. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to try to do that at all, because to prove yourself as a man means that you're looking for somebody else's validation to get them to do something. So even me as a person doing business, I'm taking it to the level where I'll say, listen, you can either get with it or not. I'm good either way. So I'm not going to try to prove to you to get more business, because I know how good the information is that I don't need to prove it. You see what I'm saying? And I wouldn't prove it to you, because you should already see that the proof is in the pudding, meaning that if I'm talking about what I'm talking about, or you buy this product and all the information is there and all you have to do is literally follow it. You see what I'm saying? That's why I have my Bad Boy membership program, where I say, listen to these programs, follow it to a T, and practice these things, and you're going to see the results. You see what I'm saying? So I already know the results is there. So what I'm saying is that I'm not going to prove to somebody who needs the information that I have the information. I already know it. They have to catch up to the information. You see what I'm saying? And so that's how I tell guys to deal with women. Don't prove yourself to a woman. You already know you're that guy. The woman has to let you know, hey, I'm really recognizing you're that guy and I want to be a part of your situation. So the same way that I'm teaching guys how to deal with women is the same way I'm showing that even in a business sense. Do you see what I'm saying?
So I think to a degree, that makes sense. The problem is they have to choose between you and a bunch of other people they could also think the same thing with. So it's like someone who's discerning, how do they decide which guy is the one that, like, they have all these contradicting ideas that make sense on paper.
Right.
And they're going to get, like, if you follow the mystery method, you can get results. Like, you can get laid, right? If that, like, that's a result, you can get laid with the mystery method. I've done it myself. I used the mystery method. I'm not the biggest fan now. I think there's some serious holes and problems. And, I think it's the whole, like, wearing a boa. I'm not going to do that. Like, there's some serious issues with it, right? But can you get laid? Yes. And then I would say, oh, the mystery method worked because I got laid once if I did it a long time. But, like, how do I know your method is better than his method? And to me, there's two things. One is the quality of testimonials. Like, can I see this guy? Like, can you think of the the most recent time someone lost their virginity and how that happened? Like told you a story about that?
You talking about somebody like one of my clients?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a client I was talking to, and he was in his, I think it's 25, 26. And we talked for a month, and then he ended up, losing his virginity to the chick that he met. They went to a hotel, they had sex. And from that point, he's had sex with like 3 or 4 other girls from that point. Right. But what the thing is this, is that when it comes to testimonials and all these other different things, those are good things and good metrics, right? What you were saying about the mystery method of getting laid, you can get laid in a bunch of different ways. You can get laid by doing the mystery method. You can get laid by simping. You can get laid by tricking, which means paying for vagina. You can get laid by
I wouldn't count that one, but right. Yeah, technically, yeah.
Like, right. So this is what I'm saying is there's so many ways that you can have sex. You see what I'm saying? There's so many
But
ways.
How do people know, like, yours is a better way, right? That's what I'm saying. Compared to all these other people, how do they decide, okay, this one is more valid, right? This one's better. Because there's a million guys out there, and we will both agree, I'm pretty sure, that a lot of the red pill stuff, a lot of the black pill stuff, a lot of the coaches out there, it's like complete garbage, right?
Right.
Like more harm than good.
Right.
So how do they determine? And it's a fair, people could ask me the same question.
Mhm.
Like, it's hard to choose who to listen to. That's why so many people are listening to black pill,
Mhm.
because they're confused. They're frustrated that they haven't gotten like the results they want up to this point in their life.
Mhm.
And it's very easy because we got, culture is saying don't approach women. It's weird.
Right.
Just hope it's going to work out if you're tall and good looking. And if not, just
Right.
fuck you.
Mhm.
That's kind of the message we get. So for any of those people, like, why do they see your videos?
Right. Well, I think the difference is, I think he froze again. Maybe he'll come back.
All right, let me throw in the super chat that just came in.
Yeah.
TO2 Real says, I am a testimonial. Lucario's game is on another level. Shout out to the panel. Thanks for the super chat. So this guy literally paid $5 to say that. So that he paid to give a testimonial on this live stream. Anyway, let's
Right. Is Avery back on, or is he still frozen?
still frozen.
I want to know if he can hear, because for him to hear the game before we continue. I don't know if he's still in the frozen land. You know what I'm saying? But I'll say this. This is what I'll say, and maybe I'll repeat it, if he comes back on the thing. I think he's coming back now. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think he's back. Can you hear me? Or you're on mute. Avery's on mute. Yeah, you got to take
Sorry,
it.
guys. I don't know why I'm disconnecting.
Okay, yeah. So to answer your question, the difference between what I do and what most other guys do is that I teach guys to, if we're talking about even the topic of getting laid and having sex, I teach guys to get sex on their terms. Whereas most other coaches teach guys to get sex on the woman's terms. You see what I'm saying? So meaning that most other coaches, what they'll do is essentially get sex by any means necessary. You understand? If the girl is doing this, well, just continue to talk to her, continue to chase her, continue to stick in there, even though it's not what they necessarily want to do, or it's not on their terms. So what I do is I teach guys to have sex on their terms and deal with women in the way they want to deal with women, right? And so what's so attractive about that is because that's when you really understand the game. Because then what happens is this, is that whenever it becomes a situation between a man and a woman, one person is submitting and one person is leading. So I teach guys to always lead so that the woman will submit. What most guys will do, and what other coaches do, is that they teach the guys to submit to get the vagina. You see what I'm saying? So they're like, hey, as long as you're getting the sex, cool. If you're submitting to get the vagina, cool. That's what most other guys do. And so what happens is that the consequences of submitting to get vagina is that you disrespect your masculinity. You understand what I'm saying? And so what I teach guys is to stand in their masculinity and only deal with women on your terms. And if she's not trying to deal with you on your terms, that's not the woman you should be talking to, dealing with, or even paying attention to at all. You see what I'm saying?
So how do you define when they're not on your terms?
So basically, whenever you are giving a woman an instruction and she's not following it and she's not cooperating, then that's not on your terms. So if I tell a woman, hey, meet me at this place at 8 o'clock for drinks, and she says, well, I would rather we go to dinner because I don't really drink, right? If I say, okay, cool, let's go to dinner, fine, that's me going on her terms, right? So my terms is drinks. So I only deal with women who are going to go for the drinks. If she's not going for the drinks, goodbye.
Okay, so look, I agree with you on that one, because that means they're trying to use you for money.
Right.
So that's a fair example. But like, what if this happened to me not that long ago? There was a girl who, like, we already had made out, like it's going well. But her sister kept calling her and barraging her, and she agreed earlier. She was like down to go home with me, but she ultimately, her sister's like freaking her out and making her like nervous or whatever, like barraging her. And so she has to go back home. Do I just like, I'm done with this girl because she didn't go to my terms?
No, well, in that particular situation, if it's like a family emergency and you say,
well, it's not an emergency. It's just, you know how girls are. Like
that's the context. So what I'm saying is that if it's not a family emergency and she goes with the sister, then yeah, I would be like, we're done. So what I'm saying is if her sister got in a car crash, I'll be like, hey, handle your business, hope everything's cool. We'll do this later, right? But if she's just like, oh, my sister keeps calling me and I gotta go and deal with her, then I'm like, nah, we're good. Because what that means is that she chose her hanging out with her sister over you. You see what I'm saying? And so what I mean, again, people always have a choice whether to do this or that. So in this particular situation, she was either, I'm gonna hang out with my sister, I'm gonna hang out with you. So she was like, I'd rather hang out with my sister than go home with you. That's the choice she made. Now, if there was an emergency, she's still choosing going with her sister than you, but that's more understandable because it's an emergency. But if it wasn't an emergency, she's choosing her sister, then yeah, we're done. And so that's what I'm saying, where if your terms is this and the woman is not doing things on your terms, then that's not a good thing, because what happens is that, let's say, for example, you actually like this girl and she's interested in you, and then y'all become boyfriend and girlfriend. That's going to play out through your entire relationship. The fact that she is going to choose other things over you. She's going to be resistant for certain things over you because that's how you guys started. This is why you have guys in sexless marriages, because when they first met their wives, right, they wanted to hook up with their wives or have sex. The wife said, no, I got to get to know you. Let's take it slow. And so that was the precedent that was set from that point, which is why they're in that sexless marriage, because that woman already showed you from
she didn't really want him. I mean, I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think there's a lot of like, why would a girl, like, she should put you before everything immediately sounds a little intense, right? So the general idea, I agree, but I think that's just like, that's a little over the top. And like, there will be a lot of times when a girl, the reason she doesn't want to sleep with you is because she likes you a lot and she thinks she's giving her power away. She thinks she's going to be judged as a slut, etc. She actually wants to, but like, I don't know if the nerd pickup terms are shit test and comfort test.
Right.
So shit test is she thinks you're like probably a bitch and she's like seeing if you are. A comfort test is she really, really likes you, but then instead she's like, she wants to get to know you more. She wants to feel more comfortable that you actually like her and you're not just going to sleep with her and never see her again. So the thing is, yes, like, she shouldn't not want to sleep with you. I agree, but she can want to sleep with you a lot. She can be fully turned on and like ready to go. Like, she doesn't want you to wear a condom, all that good stuff. But despite that, well, I've had that comes up a lot. There's been girls during COVID, like they wanted me to wear a mask anyway, wanted me to wear a mask, but didn't care about the condom. But you'll have girls who clearly are attracted, but despite that, they won't sleep with you for other reasons, for comfort or for like the judgment of their family, right? Like if they're Eastern European, for example, a lot of Eastern Europeans, they don't want to sleep with you because in their religious, like their culture, they're low value if they do that. So I agree that you should be pretty like, you should be above a lot of things and they should want to sleep with you badly enough that like, it's not that hard to make it happen. But are there going to be like roadblocks here and there?
But
yeah, of course.
But this is what I would say. This is what I would say to that though, is let's say me and you met the same girl. We met the same girl on different nights, right?
Sure.
So her name is, Jennifer. So I meet Jennifer tonight and I'm trying to hook up with Jennifer tonight. And Jennifer says, Locario, yeah, you're cool, but I just, I don't really do that type of stuff. And I'm not the type of girl I want to get to know you. Right now, you meet Jennifer 2 days later at another place and she sleeps with you in the first night. So the question is Jennifer the type of girl who doesn't sleep with guys on the first night, or is she? All that really happened was that she was more attracted to you than me. So
I think that's an assumption.
No, but this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you still were able to sleep with her the same night where I wasn't. So what I'm saying is that women will act different ways towards different guys. So what I'm saying is that if
situations,
right. So if she's saying to me, well, I need to be more comfortable, I need to this and that, that's an excuse she's giving me because she's not as attracted to me as she is to you. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, why be the guy who's okay with her excuses when you can just find another woman who's going to be about it on your terms like that? That's what I'm saying.
So I think that's oversimplifying, because you're saying it's the different guy, but it could be the different situation, because and it could be either. It could definitely be the different guy, like some weirdo just creeping her out, obviously. But it can also be, there's a situation, let's say it's that girl I'm talking about from the other night. You met her and her sister's not calling her. So she just goes home with you.
Right.
I meet her. She doesn't go home with me purely because her sister called with me. Her sister started calling her. It's the situation. It's not the guy.
Right. But
right?
what I'm saying is that what happens if in that situation where she went to her sister because her sister was calling you, and then I met her and her sister was calling her and she went with me. That's what I'm trying to say.
You don't know that happened. That's an assumption.
No, but that's what I'm saying. In the same situation, remember, she has to choose something. Like something always has to be chosen. And so what I'm saying is that when a woman chooses anything outside of you, she's just saying that whatever that thing I'm choosing outside of you is more important than you. And so what I'm saying is that when I'm dealing with a woman, I'm the most important. So when she's interacting with me, she has to treat me as such. If she's not treating me like that, I don't deal with her. And so what I'm saying is that when you're talking to a woman, you're giving a woman an opportunity to talk to you. You see what I'm saying? Because what happens is a woman is not going to get into a relationship unless a man approaches her, unless that man decides to take her out and interact with her, unless that man continues to want to see her. So there's so much value that a man gives a woman. And so that means that you are the opportunity for her. So if she's choosing something over you, then what she's saying is that the thing that she's choosing is more important than you in all situations. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that when I'm dealing with a woman, I'm looking for 100% cooperation from the jump. And if she's not doing that, then I talk to another woman. I give another woman an opportunity to do it. Because what I'm saying is that same woman who is resisting me will meet another guy and not resist him at all. So what I'm saying is
But how do you know that? I mean, how do you know that's the case?
No, I'm saying, I'll give you a perfect example. I had a literal situation that happened just like that. Actually, two. One situation, I met a girl, I hooked up with her the same night, right? I think a few weeks later, a month later, one of my friends was having a party. He throws like events or whatever. He was telling me about a girl that he's been seeing. And he mentioned the girl before I even met this girl, but it was the same girl. I didn't know. So I sleep with this girl. I go to his party. He introduces me to the same girl I slept with. I didn't know that was her when I came in. So I'm looking at her. She looks at me. We didn't say anything at the moment. I just said, "Oh, what's up?" But that was the same exact girl I slept with. And she told him that she doesn't sleep with guys that quickly. So it's the same girl saying two different things. Second situation was my dad slept with a girl who told me we dated the same girl. The girl told
As
me.
Your dad?
As my dad.
Okay, I thought you were joking. That's crazy. Okay, that's insane.
No, my dad met a girl that I used to mess with. I saw this girl. And I was like 20 at the time, so I was young. I saw this girl. We saw each other like a few times. I tried to sleep with her. She didn't want to sleep with me. My dad ended up meeting her right after me, and then he slept with her. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same.
Your dad's got game.
Exactly.
Yeah. First of all, that's crazy. Interesting example. So I'm not going to say that doesn't happen. Of course that happens. Like women will behave differently with different guys, and they'll say things. First of all, what they say often doesn't mean anything, right? I've literally had a girl say we're not going to have sex tonight, and this was back when I was like, believing what they said verbally, and so I thought, all right, it's not going to happen. So she said that like 3 times on the way back to my couch. And we get here, we start making out, or get to the place I'm staying, start making out. And she gets mad that I'm not escalating. I'm not touching her tits. I'm not, I'm not doing anything because she said she didn't want to have sex. So I'm not trying to go too far. Right. I'm respecting. And then she's like, are you going to fuck me or what? Like, are you going to fuck me or what? I'm like, so first, we can't really what they say doesn't necessarily track, right? So you can't that is not necessarily evidence for one argument or another. But secondly, yes, women will treat different guys differently, but also different women are different. So you're acting like every girl will sleep with a guy in 5 minutes, or a guy will sleep with a guy just without any resistance whatsoever. But there's no way to know that. A lot of women will, but to say that every girl is going to do that, that's just hypothetical. How are you going to prove that? How do you know that? Because many will, I agree, but not all of them. Many won't. They have different personalities. Some women will have a lot of one night stands, a 500 body count. Some will only have it after 3 dates, and they'll never have sex on the first date because that's a rule they have, no matter how much they like the guy.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Women don't have any rules. But I want to go back to what you said about the girl that said, you're not having sex tonight. There are situations where, depending upon the context and the tone of what's going on in the situation, she may say, "Oh, we're not having sex tonight," but she may be saying it in a flirty or like how women are when you're flirting with them and you're having that banter and just
Yeah,
saying,
I get it a lot. But
exactly.
how's a guy supposed to know though?
Right. But that's what I'm saying. And so what I'm saying is that you have enough game to know the difference between a woman
Now,
who doesn't want to have sex with you and a woman who does, right? So and so what I'm saying is, and even with that, that's still a thin line, because there's sometimes girls be playing those little games and it's kind of wishy-washy. But what I'm saying is that even if I didn't know, even though I do know, but even if I didn't know how the woman is, I don't care how the woman is. So what I'm saying is I only care about what I want. And so if the girl's not giving me what I want, then I'm not dealing with her, period. So let's say it's just for a fact. Let's say it was a fact that this girl over here named Rebecca has never slept with a guy on the first date. Matter of fact, Rebecca has never slept with a dude quickly. Rebecca, that's what she does, and she just never does it, and whatever.
yeah, she's like Russian or some shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's religious. I don't care. What I'm saying is
She's Mormon. She only does soaking.
right. What
The
I'm
whole
saying
God doesn't see.
right. So what I'm saying is Rebecca only sleeps with guys after she's seen them for a month. What I'm saying is that I'm gonna let Rebecca know that we got to do this now. And if she says no, then I'm like, you have a nice day, Rebecca. We're good. I'm not gonna wait a month to sleep with Rebecca because that's on her terms. So what I'm saying is,
Well, a month. Yeah, I agree with that. But there's
or even
a lot of area, but like a
what I'm
day.
saying is that so what I'm saying is that even if women are going to be different, and that's just how she is, just hypothetically, I'm still not going to care because I only care about how I want it. And so what I'm saying is that I teach guys to stand on how they want it. And so if this is how you want it, then you only entertain women who are going to do the things that you want, right? And so what I'm saying is that because you're saying it sounds intense, but the problem is that I'm talking about everything in its entirety. So meaning that what guys do usually goes in their subconscious, and then they start acting that way all the time. So whenever you bend, it's like, well, I'll bend again tomorrow, and I'll be a little flip floppy. I usually don't do it this way, but you know what? She's hot, so let me do this with her today. So they're flexible, and what I'm saying to guys is, don't be flexible at all. You see what I'm saying? Like, because what happens is that the more flexible you are, the less respect you have for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And also, it's very feminine to be flexible. You understand? Masculinity, you're supposed to be about what it is. This is what it is. And if I change it, I'm only changing it based on me. Flexibility is the woman. The woman's supposed to be flexible. She's supposed to say, oh, yeah, I usually don't do this, but he's the guy, so I'm going to do this for him. Usually I just deal with guys who give me money and shower me with gifts. But this guy's so sexy, I'm going to drop my panties tonight because he wants me to. Like, I'll do that for him. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. But what happens is a lot of guys, what they're doing is they're being flexible when it comes to dealing with women. They're like, I will switch up who I am, what I'm about, and what I like based on how hot she is. Well, she's hotter than the last 10 girls I talked to. She's probably the hottest girl I've ever seen. So I'll stay out a little bit more. I'll bend the rules a little bit for her. And that's the problem.
Generally, most guys are too flexible. I agree. Way too flexible to the point where it's ridiculous. So you're right. I just say having some flexibility is okay. Like, look, I'm rarely going to go on multiple dates with a girl who I haven't already slept with. Like, that's probably not going to, unlikely that will happen. So I'm not like extremely flexible. I'm not going to talk to a girl for a month who I like and I want it to happen, and she's just like making me jump through hoops. I'm not going to do that. But if a girl, like, her sister's barraging her and she doesn't want to look bad in front of her sister, or, like, I can tell, like, I have a good sense, just having been with a lot of women, I have a good sense. She genuinely, like, she's attracted, she's turned on, she's wet, whatever. Like, it's on. Right. But sometimes she still won't sleep with you that immediately because of some other reason. And I think it's okay to be a little flexible. Like, I think it's not black and white. Like, I think there's a little bit of room for flexibility. I don't see why you have to be, if she won't do exactly what I say all the time, always, why that's a problem.
Well, okay, so let's say this girl becomes your girlfriend and you guys are in a restaurant and somebody comes in with a gun and you see and you say duck.
Okay, we're getting.
No, no, but this is what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is everything
Well,
is connected
she
to.
would do that.
No, but why should she? Because remember, if you're flexible, that means that there's part of you that adheres to her. So that means she doesn't defer to you at all times. So what I'm saying is that she might say to you, "Well, why do you want me to duck?" Right? And now because she said it to you, she got shot in the head. So what I'm saying is that I'm only going to deal with women who defer to me and who do it on my terms from the beginning and at all times. Because when I say duck, I don't need you to question me. I just need you to do what I say. And so what I'm saying is
Okay.
that in the beginning, if I'm giving you leeway or I'm being flexible or I'm not making it a situation where, it's a thing where you have to follow my lead, then that plays out into the relationship as time goes on. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not even just talking about like the beginning where we're just hooking up, because hooking up can turn into us being together. You're my girlfriend, wife, whatever it is. It can turn into that. And what I'm saying is that because at the beginning you allowed the flexibility, that will permeate into the relationship. You see what
So
I'm saying?
yeah, I just think it's too vague. So something like, all right, someone pulls out a gun or whatever.
Mm,
The girl I'm dating is going to do what I say in that situation. Like I have very zero doubt about that. Like I'm not dating a girl who's telling me what to
right.
do, who's the boss. Like uh, in a situation like that, I have no
Mhm.
doubt.
Right.
But are they allowed to have their own opinion or give me suggestions or things
Mhm.
like that? Of course. It's just like if you're a boss and you have employees, generally they're going to follow what you do.
Mhm.
But you're not going to hire employees who will literally never give you any pushback with anything ever and will never give you any suggestions because that's stagnant and that's not treating them as another human who can actually like give you some insights.
Right. But as a
So I just think
boss,
it's too black and white. Like,
but right. But as a boss, would you hire somebody who's giving you pushback in an interview? Like
depends what
you
you mean by
say,
push.
like you say, hey, I'm gonna need you to do this for the job. And then they're like, well, I don't really feel like I want to do that. Are you
It
gonna,
just depends how much. If they're saying shit like that, then no, of
right.
course.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
it's how much pushback.
But that's my
That's
point.
like it's not black and white. Like a girl is going to disagree with you at some point or like give you a tiny bit of pushback. That doesn't mean, oh, it's over, right? That
No,
doesn't
no, I'm
mean
not.
it
No, I'm
depends
not
how
saying.
bad it is.
No, I'm not saying that a woman can't disagree with me. Like if we're talking about an opinion about, oh, was this movie good? Oh, I didn't like it. I liked it. What like I don't. That's fine. What I'm talking about is
Like you're fucking done. You don't like the
right,
Dark Knight, it's
exactly
over.
right. So
Like you don't get it.
yeah, I'm talking about pushback in the sense of following my lead. So I'm talking about the leadership aspect of it. And so what I'm saying is that the leadership aspect of it comes into play when I'm giving the woman instructions, no matter what those instructions are, and I'm getting pushback from those instructions. So let's say, for example, I might be at a bar and I'm talking to a girl, everything is, cool, we flirting or whatever. And I might say, hey, let's go out in the back at the patio and talk because it's a little bit more quiet over there so we could, talk more. And then she says, oh no, actually, I'd rather stay inside here. I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. Well, you have a nice day. And I'm done. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so what I'm saying is that I need cooperation consistently. And so what I'm saying is that what happens is that women who have high interest in a man is going to cooperate consistently with that man. So the interest level that a woman has determines how far she will go for that guy. The more pushback and the more resistance a woman has means the less attraction she has for that guy. You understand what I'm saying?
That's one of the bigger factors. Yes. Like I agree that's like how attracted, big factor. It's not the only reason though. So that's the disagreement is that like if a girl does that, I do take that as a red flag.
Mm,
Like I agree. And am I going to spend the whole night trying to pull her if she wouldn't even like go outside to no. Like but I'll probably get her number if it was on up to that point.
mm.
Like if it was going really well, I'm going to assume the reason she doesn't want to do whatever is because she doesn't want to be judged by her friends.
But
Right. I'm going to assume
but that's
like,
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, and this is this thing. I actually agree with you. She could not want to be judged by her friends. What I'm saying is that her desire to talk to me and deal with me has to override her fear of being judged by her friends. So I'll just give an extreme example. if somebody like, I don't know what these, like Chris Brown comes into the club or whatever, and Chris Brown says, hey, let's go to the bathroom real quick. I want to, have some fun with you. She might say,
And
damn,
then beat you up. But, yeah.
my girl's going to think like I'm a hoe or something, but it's Chris Brown. Women right now are paying him $1,000 for a picture. What I'm saying is that when the woman finds desire, it's always desire and fear. So her fear of being clowned by her friends or looking like a hoe, right? That if she resists you, that overrides her desire to be with you. If her desire to be with you is stronger than her fear, she will be with you regardless of what her friends are doing. So what I'm saying is, every time I'm talking to a woman, she's being tested. I'm saying, hey, I'm giving you an instruction. Now you can either choose to follow the instruction, which means desiring me and doing what I say, or you can go do the other thing, whether that's I don't want my girlfriends to see me like this or whatever it is. So it's her choice. Now, if she chooses the other thing, all she's saying is the other thing is more important than dealing with me. And I'm cool with that. And I'm like, that's great, because now I don't want, I'm not going to do anything. Now, again, this is the thing. It's not wrong to, like you said, for example, you would still get the girl's number. That's fine. You can still get the girl's number. This is the key though. And I always tell guys this, because I always say there's high interest, medium interest, and low interest. So what I'm saying is, when a woman gives you resistance, it's automatically not high interest. Now, you can still deal with a woman who doesn't have high interest in you. But what I'm saying is that when a woman doesn't have high interest, you're going to deal with future resistance. So even if you get the girl's number, you can deal with her and you could probably even sleep with her. What I'm saying is that from the point you get her number to the point you sleep with her, in a lot of cases, there's going to still be some form of resistance to get to that point. That's all I'm saying.
All right, there's a lot, so it's hard to choose what to
let me just
go off of
some
there.
Super chats quick.
Yeah, for sure.
I hate to cut the flow off, but Mr. Justin, super chat. Notice who is asking the questions. It's not a debate, it's a class. Don Juan Plagueis 0 says, we've seen Hayden's skills and there are 7 max. We've seen Locario's skills and they look 57. This is not a jab, it's just reality. Ice White,
that's such a random number, 57, but okay.
Yeah, any
like out of 100,
like
he's saying he's better. I get it, but that's just a funny way to say it.
Okay,
is that the last?
Assume let's just continue
one?
then.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, yeah. So, what I would say is the Chris Brown example is obviously it's an extreme example. First of all, like you got Leo, you got Chris Brown, something like that. Of course, women are going to do a lot for them. But even in that situation, there's going to be women who, like Chris Brown says whatever, and they think, I need to make it a little hard because every girl wants to sleep with him.
I agree.
There's going to be women who do that.
I totally agree with you. And that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that her desire to deal with him isn't strong enough, because if it was, she would knock that out of her mind. Because what happens is that if she says, I'm going to try to be different because all these girls want him, that could potentially make Chris Brown say, fuck her. You understand what I'm saying? Which means she's not going to get with him. And so what happens is that since there's a potential that she won't get with him, that means that potential that she may not get with him is the part of her that's not all the way interested. Because if she was all the way interested, she'd be like, I just want to be here and I need to do the things that I need to do to be here. This is why when women have high interest in you, they're extremely, extremely easy to get along with. They're pleasant. They make it easy because they want you to like them. When a woman is kind of iffy with you, it's like, yeah, he's okay. He's cool, but I'm not all the way sold, or I'm not really that interested. So I'll resist. And if she loses out, she doesn't really care because she's not all the way interested. You see what I'm saying? So yes, it's see, a lot of people say, Locario, you're so black and white with the situation, right? What I'm saying is that it's always black and white, because what happens is that you either have to do this or that. Like, for example, right now we're on this live stream and we literally can't be anywhere else. So either we're doing this or we're doing something else, right? So we chose to be here. So we made a choice. And we made a choice to be here because we felt, okay, well, this is a valuable use of our time, which is why we chose this instead of going to do something else. Now, if it was a situation where, let's say somebody called you up and said, yo, Avery, listen, I got $500,000. I need you to come speak at this Zoom meeting right now. You probably call and be like, look, this Locario, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no offense.
You
Yeah,
see what I'm saying?
sure.
Like, right, because that would be way more valuable to you. So you would choose that over this. That's all I'm saying. So whenever it's the situation when you're dealing with the woman, it's the same concept. She's going to either choose you or she's going to choose the other thing. And what I'm saying is, if she's going to choose the other thing, I'm not fucking with her. You see what I'm saying? Period. I'm done.
I'll give an example, and then we should probably move on to a different topic. I don't want to go one thing forever. Um, I would say there can be like if I'm on a boot camp, so I do in-person coaching, right? So if I'm on a boot camp, I'm with clients. There can be a girl who approaches me who's exactly everything I want, her personality, her looks, exactly like I'm thinking this could be going towards like I'm gonna get her pregnant. I want kids with her.
Right.
But she could come up to me and like say, "Hey, I want to go home with you right now."
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go home with her when I'm with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not going to happen.
Right.
It doesn't mean my desire for her is not a 10 out of 10. It doesn't mean I'm not attracted to her.
Mm-hmm.
There's other factors. Like there's so human lives, there's a lot going on, right? Like we don't just have one thing. So you can really want someone and still not sleep with them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that they're not high interest enough, or you can put up resistance
Mm-hmm.
because there's other stuff going on in your life, right? Like a girl might be in a rush to a job interview or whatever, and that's why I can't pull her. But like that girl who approaches me, if she goes by your mentality, she's like, oh, he's not high interest enough. So, fuck this guy.
Right. But in that particular situation, you were actually in the middle of doing something important. What I'm talking about is when you're in a situation where it's you and a woman and you guys are engaging with each other and there actually is no thing happening, no obstacle in the way where she's free for the rest of the night. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are flirting or whatever, and she purposely resists. You understand what I'm saying? Then that's what I'm saying is the issue. So like even with your example with her sister, the sister example, that wasn't an emergency. Like she didn't have to go see her sister. You understand what I'm saying? But she chose to do that. So what I'm saying is that if you can choose, like, so that same example, if you were not on a boot camp and you were just kind of chilling at a bar, having a drink after the night was over, and that girl approaches you, you'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it, because you are free to do that thing. Just like if I match with a girl in a dating app, I might say, hey, what are you up to tonight? Let's go get a drink. And she might say, oh, I got to work tonight. And I say, okay, cool. Well, let's do tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? So there's something already happening in the interim. So cool. But what I'm saying is that if there was nothing happening and I said, hey, what are you up to tonight? She's like, absolutely nothing. I'm free the whole night. I got nothing to do. And I say, okay, cool. Let's go get a drink. And she's like, well, I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not dealing with you after that. We're done.
But the thing is, if you're like in a bar setting, club setting, every girl is basically on the equivalent of a boot camp with their female friends. Like girls will, this happened a few weeks ago. There was this girl I lost all attraction for. So I kind of would agree with you to some degree because of what she did. There was a cute girl I'm talking to. It's going well. Her friend is like on the verge of tears. Her less attractive, let's just say, friend, her larger friend, more horizontal friend. She's not feeling it. She's really upset. Me and my friend are talking to the other two girls who are cute. And then why is she so upset? Oh, the reason she's so upset is because she wants to go see DJ Pauly D. He plays here, from Jersey Shore. They pay him over $100K a night, which is insane. But DJ Pauly D, she wants to see him, but they're not allowed to leave their friends. So she's not leaving. She literally won't leave her friends to see in the club in Vegas. Like this is Caesar's Palace. This is not like a dangerous, like we're not in some like third world, like they're going to get killed kind of situation, right? There's no danger. Cameras everywhere, security everywhere. She won't leave her friends because women do that with each other, right? Like they are worried about the judgment of each other. They will slut shame each other. It happens all the time. Like I don't know about you, but in high school and college, I saw more women slut shame each other than men slut shame women by far.
Right.
So they'll slut shame each other. They don't want to be judged. And she's not even trying to sleep with the guy. She's just trying to see the fucking DJ. And she won't do that. Now, first of all, is she high interest in terms of wanting to see DJ Pauly D? Yes. But she won't do it because she doesn't want to get judged by her friends because she has another obligation, right?
Mhm.
And so that's pretty much women. If you're on a date,
Mhm.
we would have a different, like, that's a different situation. But
Mhm.
we're talking about bars and clubs. It's where a lot of guys are going to meet girls.
Mhm.
Generally, you'll get hesitation or resistance, non-compliance, whatever, a little bit
Mhm.
because of the judgment of the friends. And I don't see that as a bad thing.
Right. No, and this is the thing. I agree with you, but this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that in the actual situation like that, where you're talking to groups of girls at clubs and bars, right? Like if you, so let's say there's a group of three girls, girl A, girl B, and girl C, right? And you want to talk to, you really want to talk to girl A. So what you do is you talk to the whole group first. Hey, how you ladies doing? Whatever, whatever. You say, I'm gonna steal your girlfriend for a second, right? So then you move her away from the girls, and then you're interacting with her and flirting with her and telling her what you want to happen, right? So what I'm saying is that whenever you create the situation where there aren't any obstacles for the thing to occur, and she still resists you, that's what I'm talking about. So I do agree with you where there's going to be in situations where women are going to be like, oh, well, I'm at my girlfriend's party, and so I can't do the thing that could happen now, right? But what I'm saying is that if I meet a girl in a group, I pull her to the side, I let her know my intentions, and she says, oh, I'm out with my girl, stay, it's our birthday, whatever, cool. I say, hey, listen, what are you doing later tonight? And after this, and she's like, oh, I don't know, we might be at this place, but I might go home. Okay, well, here's my number. Text me when you're done. You understand what I'm saying? So she can text me when she's done, and then we can meet later. But what I'm saying is that her interest level in me is going to have her follow what I'm saying the entire time. So I'm navigating the obstacles in the situation in that particular situation. I'm not saying for you to go up to a girl with her girlfriends and say, hey, you come here, leave your friends and come out with, you know what I'm saying, and leave with me right now. I'm not saying that particular situation because she already has prior obligations. Just like in your example, you had a prior obligation as the person putting the boot camp on. And just like my example, I said a woman had a prior situation because she had to go to work. So there are those things. What I'm saying is that when those things are out of the way and I'm still telling a woman, hey, this is what we're going to do, and she still resists, that's the issue. So what I'm saying is that when the woman has the ability to go in your direction and she's still giving you resistance, that's the problem. So when that happens, then I'm like, okay, yeah, we're done because you have all of this time, energy to do the thing I'm saying, and you're still refusing. So if you're refusing, then you're obviously saying that you're not really that interesting because all of the things that would be a hindrance to that happening are eliminated. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so I don't think we disagree as much as I expected on this. With the like the example I gave, it kind of falls into that. Like her other sister's also there, and her other sister is in person, you know, giving
Right.
some degree of pushback. She doesn't want to get judged by her.
Mhm.
So it sounded like earlier, if
Mm.
I remember, you kind of had a problem with, you know, her giving that pushback of not wanting because of the not wanting to go home because of the sister.
Mm.
But now it sounds like, you know, situations like that are
Mm.
understandable.
Yeah, but the situation you talked about was you said the sister was calling her on the phone, right? Like her sister wasn't physically there.
Well, she's got two sisters, so I didn't
Okay.
mention the
Okay.
two
So,
sisters.
right.
But
So
still, even if, why is the sister calling the phone different than the one being in person?
because in person, if she's there with her sister, that's different than her sister calling her on the phone because she can just text the girl, her sister, say, hey, I'm out. I'll come home later, whatever. There's more pressure with the sister being there because how women act is that a lot of times they're caring about what other people think and what they're doing in the particular moment. And so if her sister was right in front of you guys, there'll be certain things that she probably would be afraid to do because her sister's there. But if her sister's on the phone, her sister is not physically there to see what she's doing.
Okay, but they're staying in the same room. So this is Vegas, right?
No,
So
I'm saying if they're in
the
the
sister
same
is
room,
calling is in the room. Why are you not in the room? So there is a similar level of pressure because she's like, why is my sister like, is she dead? Is she
you're
whatever?
saying that they're in the same vicinity.
This is Vegas. So like they're traveling.
Okay, but so what I'm saying is this is that if the girl is in close proximity with her sister, that's different than just a girl on the phone who's her sister calling her that she has no access to once she hangs up the phone. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if there's proximity to where she can be judged in that situation, right? Then what happens is, yes, cool, let's create this scenario so that I can pull her away from all those things. And then I tell her what to do in that situation, because that's when she's going to be honest with doing the thing, right? What I'm saying is that after all that is done, where there's no obstacles, nobody around, there's nobody around to say anything. It's just you and her, and y'all are in a situation where she could actually make the move to make sex happen or whatever it is that you're asking, and she still resists you. That's an issue. So, for example, if you're randomly at a bar and you meet a girl by herself, like she just came there and she's, having a drink after work, and y'all are flirting and talking, and you're basically telling her, hey, let's get out of here and do this thing. And she's resisting you when there's nothing there. Like her boss is not with her. None of her friends from work are there. Like she's there by herself. And it's just you and her. Nobody's going to know what's going on. And she still resists you. That means she's not really into making things happen. That's what I'm saying. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that ultimately we both, you kind of said it was black and white. I think we'd both agree that it's not fully black and white. I just think the way you premise it, I just disagree with the whole black and white premise.
No,
So
it is
generally, like most of the things you're saying, I at least like 80% agree. There might be like, I think there's a little bit more like room for.
right. But I think what happened is that what you were talking about was, because earlier you said that the girl, for example, but doesn't want to look like, doesn't want you to think she's easy, or some other type of stuff like that, right? And what I'm saying is that when a woman is in a situation where it's you and her, right? She wants you to think or to know that you can have the pussy now, because she wants the dick now. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that if she's giving you pushback and there's nobody there, like her boss or sister, whatever, to judge her, that means that she doesn't want it because it's free range for her to take it. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm saying, when you're communicating with a woman in that sense, where it's just you and her communicating, and that can go down and she's resisting, then that means she doesn't really want it. So the whole idea of, man, well, she's scared about what you're going to think about her moving fast. That's not it, because she wants it to move fast because she wants the D now. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying
that doesn't really want it is the part where I think we have some disagreement, because she can really want it, but have other reasons like self-judgment, right? Like her parents, like she's Catholic, and her parents kept telling her sex is bad. You're going to be,
Right.
you're a whore, you're a slut, etc. She still wants to sleep with you, and she probably will, as long as you go about it the right way. But it might be like that girl I mentioned earlier who said, we're not going to have sex multiple times. She was the one who ultimately was being more aggressive later on, right? She was the one like calling, like, what, you're a bitch. Why the fuck are you not like, now, obviously be careful with this advice. I'm not saying like, just whip it out or some shit, but she was upset with me for not being aggressive enough. There was another girl, this was not as long ago. She was, a Latina was really on, and she said like, oh, you want me to be your Latina sex slave? And I said, yeah, at first. And then she's like, but no, that's not going to happen. We're not gonna have sex today. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And then we start hooking up. I turn her on a lot. She's like, and then she's like, do you want to fuck me now? She's like, asking. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And I was just messing with her. She literally started crying. So, right. She started crying because I didn't want to sleep with her because the dynamic. Right. But if we take things literally and like with you, this is my problem with the things you're saying is like, it would be very easy for another guy to be like, oh, she's not fully interested, so don't sleep with her.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. When you have, so this is what I'm talking about. When a woman is highly interested in you, she doesn't even say the things that you're saying. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, so what I'm saying is a woman who's highly interested in you still wouldn't even say we're not going to have sex tonight, because it can be misinterpreted as she don't want to do it. And then if it's misinterpreted,
well, what's highly interested? Because there's like, I'm like super turned on. I think they're super hot. And then they're like, but that still can happen. Like they can be, there's girls who I would do that with where I'm really want to sleep with them. I'm very interested, but I still won't do it for some other reason. So like highly interested is kind of a vague term. Like, what do you mean? Like more interested than that, than anything in the world? Or like,
yes, what I'm saying is that she is more interested in doing what you want to do now than anything else, period. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, like, okay, like for example, there was a story of a woman, I think it's from Bangladesh or one of these places, where she got into the ocean and swam to meet this guy. This is a real story. You understand what I'm saying? Like she damn near tried to kill herself to go meet this guy.
There's plenty of women who actually did, like Oppenheimer's his mistress, like she
That's what I'm
literally killed
saying.
herself because
That's
she
what I'm
couldn't be
saying.
with him or whatever.
Right. So what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that a woman whose desire is that great, right, to where everything is you. Everything is about you, period. But again, this is the type of thing where you have to have extreme confidence in yourself and see that value in yourself to even see it that way. Because basically what I'm saying is this, right? Is that when I talk to a woman and I deal with a woman, right? Everything she's doing and saying has to reflect how I view myself. So I view myself as the shit. I'm that guy. So whenever the woman is basically cooperating and doing everything I say, she's basically saying, I agree, you're him. So all I'm seeing is the mirror of who I really am. So if I go into the mirror right now and I raise my hand and I close my fist, I'm gonna see it do this because I'm in the mirror. So what I'm saying is that woman needs to mirror me. So if I'm saying I want to do A, B, and C, and the girl's like, I don't know, can we do X, Y, and Z? She's not mirroring me. And so therefore, for me to deal with her, that's me disrespecting myself. And I can't do that for sex or any woman or any of that stuff. So what I'm saying is that what I'm teaching guys is to have a level of self-love to understand that there's more than enough women to go around. And you're going to have more than enough women who are going to be highly interested in you. So if that's the case, why bother? For example, if I talk to 10 women and 6 are not highly interested in me, but 4 are, why would I deal with the other 6? Like I'm talking to the 4 who are doing exactly what I want, who's following my lead to a T, and who's choosing me over everything. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, because what happens is that that's a reflection of me. So I can't deal with the woman who's not that, because if I'm dealing with her, that's me disrespecting myself. You see what I'm saying?
So when you talk about the chick who like swam and drowned or whatever for a guy, so I think this is the biggest disagreement, and then we'll probably move on to something else because I don't want to get stuck on one thing. The difference between you and me is, I think, is there someone who would do that, who would like literally swim for a guy and die? Yeah. Are there women like that? Yes, but it's partly her personality. There's women who are like that. There's women who are just extremely, they're fucked up basically. Like there's women who have different personality types, and some will do that. You don't like, that's kind of an extreme personality. They don't need to be that submissive. 100% will do anything any guy says.
No, but
to
it's not.
be
But that's what
like,
I'm saying.
that's
It's
a
not,
rare,
right, but
that's
that's
not
what
a
I'm
normal
saying.
girl.
It's not any guy. It's the guy. So what I'm saying is that woman.
Well, it's both.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That woman who does that is not doing it for every guy. So meaning if I, so
There's also women who would do that for no guy. That's where I think we disagree.
no,
I think there's women who would never do that ever. A
and
lot.
that's right. That's what I disagree with. That's what I'm saying. Where I can meet a woman who sleeps with me within the first 5 minutes she meets me, right? And then she won't do that for any other guy. And on the flip side, there are women who she will sleep with me in 5 minutes, right? And because she's extremely sexual, right? She may do that for a lot of other guys, but it doesn't mean she's going to do it with every guy. What I'm saying is all of that stuff doesn't really matter. The only one thing that matters is if she does it for me. So whether she does it for every guy or only me doesn't matter as long as she's doing it for me. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, if she does it for every guy, I see a huge problem there, because if she does it for every guy, she's going to do it for someone else.
It doesn't matter.
All right. So you're talking about high interest. So if a girl is highly interested in you, she's highly interested in you. And then, so let's say she'll sleep with you right away. She's like, all right, in the bathroom, no condom. Let's just, see what happens. Fine. There's girls will do that, bro. And, I think that's wild, but that's the world we live in. But if they're just that personality type, they'll do that in general, then they're gonna be with another guy while they're with you. Like if you're dating them, another guy's attracted to them by your binary thing, they're just gonna do it.
Yeah, but why would I care as long as I'm getting it done? It's just like if I go to
if you mentioned wife, like
No.
If you want to have a family and a wife,
No, that's what I'm saying. If you have a family or a wife and you guys are monogamous, then she's not going to do that because you're monogamous. What I'm saying is that if
but she's going to be attracted to other guys where she like, why would she not? Because she's just
because the contract is we're not doing that anymore. Just like if I'm attracted to other women and I'm monogamous, I'm not gonna fuck a bunch of women, even though I've been fucking a bunch of women. So what I'm saying is in that context, then yeah, that's gonna be different. What I'm saying is if we're just dating or I just met the girl, I don't care if she's doing a bunch of other dudes as long as she's doing what I say. And I don't care if she's not doing anything with any other guys and she's not listening to any other guys, as long as she's listening to me. So what I'm saying is, for example, if I met a girl and let's say she talked to 5 other guys and me. So she talked to 6 guys, me included. She can treat all 5 of those guys like crap. She can curse them out, slap them in the face, do all this other stuff. But when she's with me, she's all smiles, pleasant. She's doing everything I say. And so what I'm saying is I don't care what the woman is doing with anybody else as long as she's doing what I say with me. That's what I'm saying. Because all that other stuff doesn't matter. And the reason why it doesn't matter is because women treat guys differently based on the guy. Women don't have this identity where they're like, I'm this way with every guy. That's not how it works. Women are how they are based on the guy they're with. It's that simple.
okay, but you're saying they won't do it because of a contract, right? If they're monogamous.
Mm.
So how do you know that any girl that you are into, you're talking to, does not have a contract, whether it's with themselves, with like who they are, or with their friends, or some guy they're sleeping with, but they haven't committed to? It could be any of these. They have some contract, which is why they're not going to sleep with you right away, right? Or they're going to give you resistance because of that contract.
Yeah,
right. They're going to say, but if that's the case, if they're going to give you resistance because of these contracts, how do you know which ones are genuinely interested? Because there could always be a different contract in their mind, whatever it is, as to why they're not, they're going to give some resistance.
right. And that's exactly my point. My point is that if they go to the contract and they say no to me, then that means they're not highly interested in me to break the contract. Just like if I meet a woman.
So they'll break a contract.
Yeah, they'll break a contract if they're highly interested in guys. So if I meet a woman who's married and she hasn't cheated on her man, but I say, hey, let's hook up, and she hooks up with me and cheats on her man, that means she broke the contract with her man to cheat with me because she found cheating with me more valuable than the contract. That's what I'm saying. And it goes.
So obviously that happens. There are women who do that. I'm not going to, bro, I've made plenty of women cheat, not on purpose, usually on accident. It happens. I'm not going to argue with the fact that it happens, but like, so it just seems like in your world though, anyone you date is like, how are you going to have a monogamous relationship? Because
well, I mean, I don't do monogamy.
They're going to feel attract. Okay, fair.
I don't do that.
Okay, so are you against monogamy in general, or
no? People could be monogamous. I'm just saying I don't do it. But what I'm saying
so
is,
let's say you're with a client. Like, how do you instruct them if? Because basically, it sounds like if a girl's attracted to someone, she's going to cheat.
Yeah, that's
right.
like
Okay, so that I want to make sure I'm not like straw manning. So if that's the case, then like how could just no guy can trust any girl in monogamy then?
No. Well, the thing is that you shouldn't trust anyone in life except for yourself. You should only trust others to do exactly what.
Obviously, I mean, you should trust yourself more for sure. But
right. Well, what I'm saying is you can only trust people to do what they want to do. So what I'm saying is if a guy wants to be monogamous, I'll be like, yeah, go for it. Like, just make sure you vet this woman, make sure that this chick is on point, make sure everything is cool. Now, knowing that you want to be monogamous with this woman, understand that she could cheat at any time. So what I'm saying is that I'm not selling him this idea that you can stop the cheating. I'm telling him the reality is that a woman can cheat if she's monogamous, because monogamy goes hand with cheating. So the thing is that there's a potential where that could happen. So what I'm saying is that I say, yeah, if you want to be monogamous, that's your prerogative and that's how you want to do it. But what I'm saying is understand that cheating could happen in that situation regardless, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You see what I'm saying? Now, so here's the thing, she might not cheat if she sees value in staying with you versus cheating with the other person. So let's say, for example,
okay, but what if she's highly attracted to the guy? This is where the disagreement comes in.
Right. No. If she is highly attracted to the other guy, she'll cheat. So
always?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where we disagree. Like, I mean, and the audience can. First of all, I wonder what your proof is of that. Like, how do you know that as opposed to just hypothesizing that.
This what, no,
Because some will, yes,
I think
but plenty of women have
what I'm
never
saying.
cheated. Plenty of men have never cheated and never would.
No, that's what I'm saying. What I'm
Like
saying.
I would never cheat.
Okay,
I'll break up with a girl,
right.
but I'm not going to cheat.
So what I'm saying is this, right? I think you misinterpret what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is a woman could be with a guy. She could find another guy attractive, right? What I'm saying is now she has a choice to make. She has her husband and she has the guy who wants to have sex with her and she wants to have sex with him. And she's highly sexually attracted to this guy right now.
Sure.
What she has to say to herself is cheating on my man, right? Worth losing my man? Do I see more value in this new guy and cheating with him than my man? Or do I find more value with my man than cheating with this guy? So either way, she's gonna have to make a choice. So if she chooses to stay with her husband, all that means is that she found more value in staying with her man. If she cheats with the guy, all that means is she found more value cheating with the guy. So what I'm saying is she has to make a choice. What I'm saying is I'm not saying that it's a guarantee that a woman is going to cheat. What I'm saying is it's a guarantee the woman is going to choose what she deems is more valuable in the situation. That's
okay.
what.
So a lot of women would never cheat, though, right? And a lot of men would never cheat, like because they value not cheating.
No. They will never cheat if they don't get into a situation where they find someone more valuable than their situation. You see what I'm saying?
But for a lot of people, that would be nearly impossible. Like to find a situation where they would find the guy is so valuable that they would cheat because they can be all right. No, I know tons of women cheat, but first of all, a lot when they cheat, it's partly because the relationship isn't going that great. Like if the relationship's going really well, the value changes based on how well it's going. Right? Like if the guy is like giving them 5 orgasms a day and they're like really into each other and that's one thing. And then if they have a dead bed, they haven't had sex in years, they hate each other, they bicker all the time, then it's a lot easier for a guy, one of us, to come in and, immediately they just go with whatever. All right,
that's exactly
fuck me instead. And then I'll have your children and have him raise them.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if she's going to find more value in cheating than her situation, which is why she'll cheat. Now, if she's having a great time with her husband, he's giving her 5 orgasms, he has a lot of money, everything is all good, right?
Gonna get some water.
What'll happen?
I'm still listening.
Right. What'll happen is that it's gonna be more difficult for her to cheat because she's like, I have a lot of value to lose. But if she finds another guy for whatever reason who is ticking off a box that she has a desire to go with, or an itch she wants to scratch, she's going to cheat even though her relationship is still good. That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
she's always fantasized about sleeping with Tyrion Lannister. She meets this little person that looks kind of like him, and she's like, all right, let's do it. No, I mean, I'm kidding, but no, I get what you're saying.
Right. All I'm saying is in each scenario, it's a battle of value. That's all I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that if her marriage is more valuable than cheating, she won't cheat. If cheating is more valuable than a marriage, she's going to cheat. That's all I'm saying.
So for you, I think like highly attracted, that just seems like it's very petty. Like that's an extreme. Whereas I'd say a girl can be highly attracted, but there's a lot of other values. Like cheating is one, but it's also the judgment of the friends. It's also judgment of herself, slut shaming. All these things are also reasons why she won't do it. So it's just for you, it's more black and white. For me, it's more like there's other factors but ultimately I'm not gonna mess with a girl. Like, look, most of the people seeking our advice, they're mostly both gonna be like talking to the same girl for 3 months. They haven't even fucking handheld her, right? Like they haven't even held her hand. And they're like, how do I get Stacy at work?
Right.
So we both generally agree that most guys they give way too much leeway. They don't have nearly as strong enough, frame or whatever you want to call it. Like they don't have strong boundaries, right? Like they don't have a situation where like, go with what I'm going with, or it's not going to happen. They're just not leading them anywhere, right? It's going nowhere. So I'd say generally you agree. The disagreement, I think, is, to me, it's more the individual personality plays a decent role. And for you, you're more saying if she's really attracted, it's just going to it doesn't really matter. But I would say with something like marriage,
Mm,
to me, like if I'm married, I don't care. I could find a girl to be like 1,000 out of 10,
mm.
way more attractive than my fucking wife. I'm still not going to cheat on my wife. Like it's not going to happen
That's
unless I'm trying to end the marriage anyway, which
right.
is when they cheat,
Mm,
largely they're too scared to actually break up. They're looking for an excuse.
right. That's the thing. We're saying the same thing. We're just saying it two different ways. What I'm saying is you saying, well, if I have
Mostly.
a marriage, then I'm not going to cheat. You're just saying I value the marriage more than cheating. Now, even if you have an awesome marriage, you might find yourself in a situation where you say, damn, well, this girl over here is inspiring me. I have this desire to do something with this woman. Do you see what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying is that
But I wouldn't do it.
no, what I'm saying is you would do it if you found that was more valuable than the situation that you're in now. So for example, let's say a guy has a good marriage and let's say he's attracted to his wife and everything is cool, but now he meets a woman that he let's say that this woman is more of his type and and they get along in a way where it's like, oh, this is like a cool energy between me and this woman. So let's say, for example, she's even though he loves his wife, this girl is more compatible with him. You understand what I'm saying? And so
Sure.
what I'm saying is that
That's happened to me in relationships. It's probably happened to most people watching this. Sure.
and so what I'm saying is that I'm not saying that they have to cheat. I'm just saying that if they see and feel that's more valuable, it will go in that direction. So what I'm saying is that there's nothing you can do to stop that at all. There's no control over that situation. It's just what happens as a result of that individual feeling like this particular situation is more valuable than the situation I'm in. And they're going to choose. This is what I was saying earlier about, everyone makes a choice, right? It's either this or that. That's why I say it's black and white, because no matter what you talk about, it's always going to go either that way or this way. You see what I'm saying? So either the girl's gonna see you or she's not gonna see you. Either the girl's gonna hook up with you or she's not. Either the girl's gonna go on the date or she's not gonna see you on the date. Either we're on the live stream or we're not on the live stream. Like anything you can talk about is black and white. Even if you're talking about warm water, what is warm water? Warm water is an accumulation of hot and cold. It's black and white. You see what I'm saying? It's all the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I just think it's oversimplified. That's the
That's
the disagreement. It's the simplification. Like, yes,
right.
is there a situation like if it is I'm married? I mean, honestly, maybe I even disagree with that because if I'm married and I have a kid, I could meet a girl who checks every box, way more attracted to her than my wife. My wife, she got fat after the marriage. She's been having too much Taco Bell. Like, I'm not into it. And yet this chick, she's like looks like a young Mila Kunis, but like with bigger tits, more ass. And she's hilarious. She's funny. She's charismatic. I'm still probably not going to cheat on my wife in that situation if I have a family, right? Because family is just, and this is true for a lot of cultures, like especially like Latinos, Asians, Eastern Europeans. Like they can find someone way more attractive, but their values, it doesn't matter. Like they're just not going to do it. But even if I'm not that, it's still just extremely rare. So I would just say the degree, yes, is there someone who I'm so attracted to that maybe would veer me off my path or whatever? Like, is there a girl who's so hot that she'd make me abandon my boot camp clients? They might exist. And for a lot of coaches, that girl's like a fucking troll because I've seen I mean, I won't go into it, but I'm not going to name names, but I've literally seen other dating coaches like abandon their clients with not hot girls in person, which is sad. You shouldn't do that. But do they exist? Probably, but it's so rare. And there's a lot of other women who I'm still highly attracted to. So the problem is really like highly attracted. It's not.
But also too, remember,
like I can be highly attracted to someone, but that doesn't mean she's like the one dream girl out of 10 billion that I would cheat on my wife for.
Right. But also,
that's what I'm saying.
We're kind of veering off because, we're talking about women doing this and women, because they are women and they go with how they feel and all this other stuff, are more likely to just be susceptible to going in a certain direction based on whatever particular value they see in that situation that's going to benefit them more. Right now, guys also do this too, but I'm just saying that you know,
Women do it to a greater degree. Yeah,
right,
sure.
right,
They're generally more likely to be submissive and want to be led. So yeah, sure.
right. You know what I'm
But
saying?
so are men generally too.
Well, but the thing is, what I'm saying is like, so at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that when a guy is dealing with a woman, though, right? All I'm saying is that a guy has to understand that any woman he's talking to, hooking up with, dating, dealing with, or whatever, it comes down to how is that woman responding to you, and how she responds to you is going to tell you everything you need to know about her interest level in you. And then once you understand that, that's up to you whether or not you want to continue to deal with her or not. Now, what I say is I tell guys it's more beneficial for you to, in the long run, to only deal with women on your terms and deal with women who have high interests. Right now, if a guy wants to deal with a woman who has medium or low interest, that's his prerogative. I'm just saying that for the best course of action, right? Dealing with women who have high interest is the best course of action. And high interest, all that really means is that that woman is going to be following your lead, cooperating, and not giving you any resistance. So as soon as resistance happens in any form, like I know a lot of pickup artists here talk about shit tests. Shit test is a form of resistance. You see what I'm saying? And so a lot of PUAs think, oh no, she's shit testing you to test your masculinity or test you that you're not like a weirdo or whatever. But what happens is that the introduction of a shit test really is her saying, I don't see you as that highly sexually attractive guy, because if I did, I wouldn't be testing you like that. Now, women test men in certain ways where it's it's not a blatant thing, meaning a woman might say, oh, I'm going to sit back and see if this guy is consistent. That's her testing you just to see if you're going to be consistent. But when I'm talking about an actual shit test where she's giving you that shit, a lot of times what happens is that guys mistake that for her being interested, which is why she's testing you. No, she's doing that because she's not really that interested in you, period. That's
Okay. So what about, but a girl's been, let's say Drake approaches her, right? And she acts not interested because she knows Drake can get any guy and she wants to like tease him a little bit, gives him a shit test, right? Because that's her way of gaming him because she thinks that'll help her get him, which it might, right? And she's like, I'm not 17, so you don't have a shot with me. I'm actually an adult, you know? I'm a Kendrick fan or some shit. That'd actually probably be the most hilarious. But anyway, she gives him a shit test. She's been masturbating to him for 10 years. Like she
Right.
wants nothing more. Like she's highly attracted, which is kind of a vague term, which I have a problem with how vague that is. But she's highly attracted. That still could happen.
So you're saying that if a woman would shit test Drake? So now,
Yeah, of course.
So now this is the problem with that. So now, why would Drake bother if he has all these other women who will just do what he says?
Well, there's a good chance Drake won't, right? There's a good chance Drake won't deal with that. He'll go to a 17-year-old, but there's a good chance he won't. But I'm saying it doesn't mean that she's not, the point is about her, not about him. The point is, it doesn't mean she's not highly attracted. She can be doing that. That's her way of showing that she's highly attracted. Like there's been girls, some of the girls who I can tell are the most into me are like, it depends what you mean by shit test, because you have to give specific examples. Because like if a girl says, I have a boyfriend, a lot of guys are like, how do I overcome the boyfriend objection, right? How do I overcome the objection and make her like, bro, either she has a boyfriend or she's not into you. Is there a chance sometimes you can, maybe, but like fixating on that is really stupid. So that's one kind of shit test. But then there's another, her just like being challenging, teasing you, making like saying something, making fun of you. That's just a lot of girls' personality. That's their way of showing they're into you.
Right. But what I'm saying, there's a difference between a woman playfully flirting and a woman giving you a shit test, though.
Well, how do you define it? That's
so what I'm saying is that a shit test means there's resistance. So if I'm flirting with a girl, right, and you know we're going back and forth, we're actually in a conversation, and she says something, you know, funny or clever or whatever in the conversation. That's cool. That's not really her shit testing me. We're just having conversation. We're having fun. But what I'm saying is that if I'm trying to engage with a woman and off rip, she is resisting me by saying something disrespectful, That's a shit test. So if I go up to a woman and I say, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" And then she looks at me, she's like, "Why would you wear those glasses with that hat? That looks stupid." So am I supposed to continue and talk to this woman? Like, what are we talking about here? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's disrespectful. But some guys will try to be like, "Oh, well, you should have, like, demonstrated high value, bro." And it's like, what are we talking about? That woman showed through her actions that she is not interested in really talking to me, or she doesn't see me as a guy she's highly interested in, because if she was, her response to me wouldn't be that way. You understand what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying is that women know how to act when they're around men they like. And because this thing, women want to be accepted by the man, right? It's just like you give the woman the opportunity.
The man that they like.
Right. Exactly. So she wants to be accepted by that guy. So if she's trying to be accepted by that guy, she's not going to do anything that could mess it up. So what I'm saying is that there's a chance that her saying that and being that way could mess up the situation. Do you see?
Do you think? Oh, okay. So they won't do things that could mess it up, I think, is a very important point, because do you not think, like, if a girl we go to, let's do a different celebrity who doesn't have the same negative connotation. Timothy Chalamet, a little twink, Timothy Chalamet. Everyone likes Timothy Chalamet. She probably is into this guy. If a random girl, Timothy Chalamet, comes up to her and like hits on her, do you not think there's a chance that she's gonna get so nervous that she fucking self-destructs and ruins it because she's so nervous? She likes him, but she rejects herself. Because I know most guys do this with women. Like, if you're an average guy and you think, like, to me, like, a hot girl, let's think 10 years ago, because the current actresses Sydney Sweeney is not that great, honestly. So let's go back 10 years. Let's think like Megan Fox in her prime, Jessica Alba in her prime, something like that. Even Beyonce, they come up to you and to you as a guy, you're imagining, they come up to you and they hit on you. There's a good chance you fucking ruin it. Even though they liked you and they hit on you, you make them think you're not interested. You like, "Oh, it was nice meeting you," run away, self-reject, because you just didn't think you had a chance. Right. So this is something, as you get better. So I imagine you've experienced this. As you get better with women, this is something you experience, where women, they give you less shit tests. You still get some, but they start giving you more comfort tests. So they start getting nervous around you, and they do things that are basically, they reject themselves because they don't think they can get you, which is how you want it to be, right? Like, that's the general dynamic that I think, like, we can agree you want. But my point is, the only reason for rejection is not lack of attraction. It can also be too much attraction.
Right. But that goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that it's either fear or desire, or fear or love, however you want to say it. So if, for example, let's use a guy example. If a guy sees a woman across the room and he's like, "Yo, she's so hot," right? And then what he'll do is he'll reject himself and say, "I'm not going to bother to go and approach her because she probably got a boyfriend, or she's probably a bitch. She's so hot.
Yeah.
She's one of these bitches girls." Right now, what does that mean? That means that his fear of getting rejected was way more, is stronger than his desire to talk to the woman, which is why he didn't talk to her. So what I'm saying is that it's the same concept when it comes to women. What I'm saying is, if she's nervous or she feels some type of way or whatever, her fear caused her to create an action that caused that situation to go down. So what I'm saying is that her desire has to be stronger than her fear. So even if she's nervous, she knows, I have to do this in order to get him. Just like a man knows, I have to approach her to get her. So the woman knows that if she's given the guy,
most don't do it, but
right, exactly. And so what I'm saying is, if a woman is doing anything where she knows by doing this, there's a chance that this guy can say no, or this guy will dismiss me, or this guy will not talk to me, then I'm not going to do it. I'll give you a perfect example. I had a friend who, he was telling me about his boy, and he would hook up with girls, and he would film the girls, giving them head and all this other stuff, right? And so
That doesn't sound great. I mean,
right,
with
right,
consent, I assume,
right.
like,
And so no,
or
and check this out, check this out, check this out. So now there was, I think, like maybe
Jack demo. Okay.
three or four. Exactly, I know about that. But there's like 3 or 4 girls that he was messing with. He was doing that, right? So now what happened was he asked a friend. He said, "Yo, so why do these women let you just film it, right?" And so he said he asked one of the girls one day, like, "Why you just let me like film you like doing this or whatever?" And she said, "I didn't say anything because I felt like if we didn't do this, you wouldn't want to talk to me anymore." So even so, I'm not saying that it's a good thing to film girls. I think
Not a great thing. Yeah.
I think that's horrible.
I mean, if you ask, sure.
Right.
But
If you act right, I think it's. But what I'm saying is that I'm just saying this to illustrate a point. What I'm saying is her fear of losing him made her follow him in the direction he was going in. Period. So what I'm saying is that when a woman is really, really feeling you, she's going to cooperate, and there's not going to be any friction. So if there's friction, i.e., shit test, that means that there's no the interest isn't high. So that's what I'm saying. So I know you're saying that you feel like high interest is a vague term. All high interest is that the woman is interested in cooperating with you consistently. That's all it means. So meaning that there is zero, not one, not a little percentage. There's zero resistance. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? So, and what I'm saying is that that's when a woman has high interest. Now, a lot of guys, they're not able to do, a lot of guys don't have the confidence to be able to interact with women this way. Right. And so this is why it sounds very strange and intense. Like, damn, this is crazy. The reason why is most guys don't have enough confidence to actually do this, because what will happen is this: a guy might talk to 10 women. And if he's saying, I'm only dealing with these women who have high interest, right? The first 9 might show him resistance and that she's not really going along with his program, right? And then he might quit. And then the 10th woman, if he would have went, the 10th woman would have been about it. Now, the problem with this is that most guys don't have the confidence to stand in their own shit in order to get what they want on their terms. So they're like, well, you know what? I'll just, switch it up just a little bit because, I talked to 9 girls, all of them said no. So let me do it this way. And maybe, you see what I'm saying? So they don't have enough confidence and belief in themselves to know that they can get exactly what they want by being them. That's the issue.
All right. The last thing I'd say about this topic is there was a girl, this was last time I went to New York, actually, which is, I think, where you're based. This girl saw me walking by, and, I'll wear some like slightly garish shirts, like a floral shirt like this or something.
Right.
And she's like, oh, that shirt makes me think of my grandpa. That was her opener. She opened me. That's a shit test. Like, she's like connecting me to her grandpa. That's not exactly a compliment on my fashion, right? So she says that. To me, I'm interpreting it as that's her way of flirting with me. That's her way of actually showing interest.
Right.
So I don't think she's actually like what you could interpret as a shit test. I'm interpreting, I know she's actually hitting on me. And so I end up pulling her, and there was no resistance that I can think of past that. But like when people take what you're saying, like binary, all right, shit test, give up, I would have just moved on. But I know that wasn't like you have to know the intention, and you can't be psychic. But
did she approach you or you approached her?
She said that to me as I walked by.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So that's different. The difference is that she approached you and just said
with a shit test.
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is she approached you and said whatever she was saying. Then you said whatever you said, and then whatever you said is how she responded to what you said. So what I'm saying is, what a woman says doesn't matter until she's responding to you. So now, if you would have went up to that woman and said, "Hey, how's it going?" and then she's like, "Oh, what's up with that shirt? That's something that look like something my grandpa would wear." That right there would be an issue. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because she's responding to you. So what I'm saying is,
it depends how she says it to me.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. A woman's response to you is the important thing. So she just randomly came up and said some shit, and you're right. She could probably have been like, "Oh, let me say something to this guy to like get his attention." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Saying is that the reason why she said something to you was because you was walking by and you probably didn't even look at her or even know she was there. She's like, "Let me say something to him because I want to talk to him." What I'm saying is that if you talk to a woman, right, and you say whatever you say, whatever she responds with should be based on whatever you say. So let's say I say something simple like, hi, how are you? All I need to hear is, I'm fine, I'm having a good day. That's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, how are you? Now, I usually don't ask girls how they are, but I'm just using an example. If I say, how are you? I don't need you talking about how you think about my shirt. I need you to respond to what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is a woman who's highly interested in you defers to you. She responds to you. She just like this is what I'm saying. Like, just like when you have sex with a woman, you put your dick in her and she responds to the dick. Like she has the old face. You see what I'm saying? She's responding to the masculine energy. So what I'm saying is that if a woman's
She gets way more out of it and should be more appreciative. But
exactly. So what I'm saying is if she's responding to my masculine energy with a shit test, you're disrespecting me. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I don't fuck with it.
it depends on the vibe, depends on the intention. So generally it's just to me, there's degrees, and I would say probably 90% of the situations we would agree on. And then there's going to be 10% where I would give more leeway, where I'd say there's a little bit of leeway here. And you'd say, no, just fuck that bitch, like get rid of her. So on that topic, I think, that's enough information. Ice, drop my mic. Ice, you,
Ice just be chilling.
there's 250 views, which is,
I haven't
that's
got
a lot
my
of
popcorn
fucking,
out yet.
that's a lot of viewers for.
Yeah, you guys been way too civilized for me to
listen,
crack out the popcorn.
I got like
sorry, I apologize.
I got like maybe 20 more. I got like 20 more minutes and I'm gonna have to head out. But
I'll drop
Yeah,
these recent super chats in.
Sure.
Oh damn, we got a few. Don Plagueis Zero says that explains Locario. He needs consistency, and we all know her hormones don't give her consistency. That's why he likes them old.
That's another factor,
Hayden
which is
won this.
interesting.
Terrence L says in a month
I'm gonna talk about that after that, but go ahead.
Yeah. Terrence L says in about a month, Avery is going to be giving the testimonial he was looking for, respectfully. Real game.
That's cute.
And the long stroke says, explain the difference between game being a mindset of me versus game being a skill set, a skill to get what I want from whoever with high, low, medium interest. That's it.
So I wanted to respond to what the guy was talking about, like her hormones and make her inconsistent or whatever he's talking about. Have you ever seen a woman wake up and go to work every day and get her check? So no matter how much her hormones are making her feel a certain way, she's basically consistent at work, right? She's consistent at going to work, same time, getting her check every 2 weeks and keeping it pushing, right? So what I'm saying is the reason why she's consistent is because she sees value in the situation. And she knows that if she's inconsistent, she's going to be fired. So that's what I'm saying. It's the same concept when you deal with a woman. She's like, I got to be consistent with this guy, because if I am inconsistent with this guy that I really value, he will fire me and I won't be here anymore. That's the point.
But if at on the way to work, she meets a guy that she's highly attracted to, she meets a guy she really likes, she's going to give up the job for that guy, right? Like there is a guy that would happen for. And I agree, there is some guy that hypothetically would happen for. What I'm saying is that guy, there's 10 million other guys that she is highly attracted to, but not enough that she's going to quit her job. And the idea that you have to be the guy that would make her quit her job to see you is just
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that she has the job already,
or cheat on her husband or whatever.
Right. I'm not even talking about that aspect of it. I'm just talking about, because he was bringing up in the comment about oh, well, women's hormones are all over the place and all this other stuff. And I'm like, her seeing value in something is the thing that's going to keep her consistent, because what happens is that she's doing it for the benefit of her, right? So nobody, man or woman, does anything for the benefit of someone else. It's always for ourselves. So even when a woman is dealing with you, she's always dealing with you for the benefit of herself. So if she's at a job and she's working there and she's getting her paycheck, she's coming every time to get the paycheck because the paycheck benefits her. So what happens is that her desire to get paid and pay her bills and all of that overrides her feelings. You understand? And so therefore, that's why she's consistent. So when you're dealing with a woman, she will be consistent with you because her being with you is a benefit for whatever reason it is. And so that's what's going to cause her to be consistent with you, because she knows that if she starts to be inconsistent, then she's going to basically, like, you're going to toss it to the side. And now if she doesn't want to be tossed to the side because she finds a benefit, then she has to be consistent. So the woman knows exactly what she needs to do. A lot of times what happens is that we've gotten so normalized to women's behavior where they are all over the place, and we say, well, she's just a woman, so she's just going to do that, and that's what it is, right? What I'm telling you is that you have to be the foundation to give a woman structure to let her know if she wants to continue being upgraded and have a benefit, then she has to be consistent, because if she's not consistent, then things are going to go left. Just like, I'll give a perfect example. There was a girl I was hooking up with. This is like a fuck buddy. And we were like consistent. She was consistent for like 7-8 months, right? And every time I texted her, she would text me back, and I would text her. So really just like good communication should come through. One day, she was like, "Oh, we had a time where we were supposed to meet up to hook up." And one day she hit me up and she was like, "Hey, is it possible that I can like not see you today because I wanted to hang out with my girlfriend, so forth and so on," right? So now I left her on red, right? So now what happened was that I left her on red, and this is the first time I've ever done that. So what happened was, because she was being inconsistent, I took away the consistency. So what happened was, she responded back to me an hour later, and she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'll come through." And then she came through. You understand what I'm saying? So what happened was that she was being consistent the entire time because she saw the benefit. Then when she was being inconsistent, she saw that the benefit of dealing with me would probably be gone or lost because she was being inconsistent. And that got her right back on track to being consistent in the situation. So what I'm saying is that when a woman sees the value in a situation, she's going to stay consistent so she can keep getting the value. You see what I'm saying? Inconsistency a lot of times happens in certain situations when she's in a situation that she doesn't really see that much value in. This is why guys will be dealing with a girl. She'll be all flaky. She'll be all over the place. And one minute she's like, "Oh yeah, let's hang out." Next minute she's not nowhere to be found, all these other different things, because in that situation, she doesn't necessarily see that much value in it. She might see value in the sense of the attention the guy's giving her, but she's not seeing value overall where it's really that valuable for her to be consistent. You see what I'm saying? And that's why you have those inconsistencies.
Yeah, I mean, generally, I don't disagree with that. As for another topic, I'm curious, what is your, like, you live in New York, right?
Yeah.
So New York's really good for meeting women in the day, like Manhattan specifically. I don't know about the other boroughs or whatever, but Manhattan, you can go to Soho, Central Park, whatever, infinite women. So what would your, like, for you or for a client, what would your general strategy be in terms of, like, how do you go about it?
You're saying, how do you go about just meeting women?
Meeting women, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. So when I teach guys who basically are first going out there and they're afraid of talking to women,
which is a big issue. That's most of. Didn't you do a? I thought it was very interesting. I saw you do polls, right? And there was a poll. Maybe you remember the exact numbers of, like, how many women have you approached? And everyone who watches this channel, like, they probably want to be approaching women, right? I mean, there's some guys who are married and they're just bored and they like find us funny or something. That's fine. But most of them, they want to be approaching women. And what were the stats as to, like you asked, how many women have you approached? It was something crazy. Like, most have, like, done, like, 60%. It was like 0, which is a big issue.
Let me check.
A lot of guys don't approach women. But also too, and for those watching, I have a program on my massive game collection. So again, real quick, shameless plug. I have a product called the Massive Game Collection, 24 of my products for one low price. It is on a discount price until August 31st. So you go to shoplocario.com to get that program. But on that program, I created a program called Approaching Reborn because I see a lot of guys out here talking about women are saying they don't want to be approached, and all these guys are scared to approach women, right? So I just wanted to,
That's gay.
you know what I'm saying? So just put that in there, right? So now what I'll do is for a lot of guys who are sort of beginning is most guys are afraid of rejection and they don't know what to say, right? So what I usually tell guys is the ones who are just beginning and they're afraid of getting rejected is that I tell them to open the conversation indirectly and then see the vibe of how the girl is responding to them. And then from that point, if she's, kind of friendly or engaging, then you directly let her know what you want. So for example, if a guy is at a coffee shop and he sees a girl sitting next to him and she was wearing a bracelet, I'll say, ask her about the bracelet. Like, hey, where'd you get that bracelet from? Right. So it's just like, you're just having a regular conversation. Now she's like, oh, I got this from Macy's and I really like it, blah, 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 blah. So you're like, okay, cool. She's friendly and we're having sort of this friendly discussion. And then now you introduce yourself. Hey, my name is John. What's your name? Rebecca. Rebecca, nice to meet you, right? Then you say, hey, listen, I'm about to head out. We should like get together and get a drink sometime. You seem really cool. Y'all exchange information and then you make it happen, right? So real simple to where a guy can get in a conversation, make that happen, right? Now, if a guy gets a little bit more comfortable with the situation, right, I'll basically tell them to go a little bit more direct, right? And it's just real simple where you introduce yourself, flirt with the girl a little bit, build some sexual tension, and then close the deal, right? So, for example, you might see a girl, you say, hey, what's up? My name is Locario. What's your name? Stacy. Stacy, nice to meet you. Listen, I came over here because I thought you was really, really attractive, and I seen you checking me out, and obviously you think I'm hot as fuck. So it only makes sense that we get together and get a drink sometime. Take my number down. You see what I'm saying? Like,
okay, if you actually saw her checking you out, that if she didn't, I mean, right. That's or risky. If she did, I would say, yeah, that's fine.
Even if she didn't check me out, I could just say, hey, it's obvious that you're attracted to me too, because I'm a sexy motherfucker. You understand? Whatever. All I'm saying is like, a lot of times guys make approaching more complicated than it needs to be. It's just that you have to really just feel the situation out, but it also comes with practice too. So a lot of times, guys practicing enough to sort of get used to it.
Generally, you're right. So I'm surprised.
Let's look at the stats. I got it here.
Yeah.
So you can see the peak. The worst.
Oh, you do it every month.
Not doing cold approach. Yeah, every single month, and I do this yearly now for the results throughout each year. December 2024 was. Yeah, it looks like the worst one. 43% were not doing cold approach. And this is defined by the question is specifically along the lines of, have you approached at least 3 women this month? So I set the bar really low on purpose. Some people are like, you should do like 50 or something. But I set the bar really low on purpose so we can find out very clearly like who's literally doing nothing and who's at least doing a few approaches in a single month. So in winter,
I mean, I'm surprised it's more than 50. You have to wonder, how many of the people that are more shy didn't even answer the survey. But I think it's good that it's more than 50.
Yeah, it's always more than 50. But yeah, at worst, it's 57% actually doing a few approaches.
Do you know the nationwide stat? This came out not that long ago, where in the US, and I think it was 18 to 25, only 46% of men have ever approached a girl ever.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So less than half. Like in the general population, it's less than half. And that's sad. So as far as we may have disagreements, like we're both ultimately on the same team. Like most people aren't even doing it at all ever. Right. And they're missing countless opportunities. And so even if you're doing it in not the perfect way, like let's say you're doing some weird, you're wearing a top hat and goggles or whatever, I don't think that's the best way to do it. But I still respect if you're going for it and you're still going to do better than the guys who aren't doing it at all. Now, I would still say, yeah, you should learn from a better coach, but at least you're putting yourself out there. And the fact that most guys have no balls whatsoever is actually, there's an opportunity because of that. Right? Because there's less competition than there ever has been before, especially post-COVID. I think that got a lot of guys, they got used to only using online dating, used to being isolated, antisocial, etc. So the guys that actually do it, like I've had literal model looking women, and this didn't happen nearly as much in the past,
Mm,
complain about not getting approached enough when I approach them. Like
right.
they bring that up, like I don't just randomly, and that never really happened before. So ultimately, the most important thing is that there is opportunity, and you have to actually be going for it. And our method is definitely gonna have differences,
Mm,
but even the like what you're saying in terms of if a guy has a lot of anxiety, maybe start indirect. I agree 100%. Like, do what you can,
right.
right? If it's hard, if you can't get yourself to say, hey, I think you're really cute or something more direct,
Mm,
then say whatever you can get yourself to say, even
mm,
if it's asking for directions, commenting on their bracelet, whatever.
right.
That's a stepping stone that kind of builds inertia, momentum towards being able to do the more direct approach later, right? You got to face your fears over time.
Right.
So I agree. That is a good way to start. I think that's how most people should start because you see a girl and you can't approach her, then do something,
Right.
or at least like walk towards her and see if you know, like that's the first step is walking towards her and see. Then your mouth might just open and you'll say some shit,
Right.
right?
Mm,
Um, and that's where guys get stuck. They think it has to be perfect.
mm,
And I literally have like most of my interactions, they generally are going to probably be like 5 to 10 minutes,
mm,
but it depends on the situation. And I've been getting uh, infield with the Ray-Ban Metas
mm,
with the camera. And I got 2 dates yesterday. One I already went on, one I have for today later. The interactions were both less than a minute, 30 seconds.
mm,
So if your vibe is on point, you're saying things in the right way, you carry yourself the right way, you is it like, look, can you show her that you're like actually super funny and whatever? Sure. But you can make a good enough impression to have a lot of success from pretty short interactions. And more guys I've noticed with
mm,
clients and like just observing people, they have these long ass interactions that go nowhere where the
mm,
girl's not interested, right? And they just waste their time. That's much more common than having too short of interactions where they're actually like playing to win.
mm. Well, yeah, I
So,
agree. I think it's, I think a lot of times, and this is the thing, even though I'll be getting on like PUAs a lot, I at least appreciate that pickup artists get dudes off their ass and go out there and approach women. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So that's always good if somebody's doing that, period. Right. And but I think also too what happens is that especially guys who are just learning and trying to get out there, because they haven't ever done it or they they're really scared to do it, it's they think that it has to be this like super magical, I have to say the perfect,
Rom com,
right, exactly,
right?
I have to say the perfect thing, I have to say it in this sequence in this perfect way and it's like what people don't understand is that when you actually go out there and talk to women, it's not going to be as perfect in your head like you think it's going to be when you're actually having a conversation, because conversations are unique. So you'll know that a woman might respond a certain way if you go out there and practice, and you might have certain things you say generally, but a lot of it is still unique. So you won't necessarily know how any particular girl will react, specifically. So knowing that is that I feel like a lot of guys have to have more practice so they get comfortable with themselves when they're actually going out there and approaching and talking, so that they're able to clearly, do what they need to do instead of running around, wondering what to say, how to say it, and not being able to close the deal. Because I agree with you. There's a lot of times where guys will go out and they'll just like talk very platonically for like a long time and not really, make any moves, not flirt, not say anything, and just have a conversation, but it's very friendly and, some platonic stuff. And then they end up in the friend zone in a lot of these situations. And then, they're
Mhm.
frustrated with it. You know what I mean?
No, that's what I did when I was new. When I first went out and started approaching, this is my like my biggest issue. I think the mystery method or whatever, it has pros and cons. But
Mm,
the biggest con is when I did that, I was using it as a mask to hide my intentions because
right.
it's all about being indirect, right? It's all about like, maybe you throw a nag, but there's no like actual showing your intent, no clear leading, no like at least the book, maybe there's other shit, but at least the book, it's not like how do you actually move things forward, lead, escalate. That's not really the focus. It's about how do you hide the fact that you're into her, which I get why you would want to do that, but most guys, they're just too afraid to do that.
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you're
Right.
afraid to do that and that's your whole method, that's going to cause problems, right? You're like, I'm trying to hide behind indirectness. And that's why so many guys are in the friend zone all the time, because they've been talking to this girl. They like her. Like if she said, "Can I suck your dick?" He'd be like, "Yes."
Right.
But he's not gonna tell her, "I'd like you to."
Mhm.
Because he's so invested and it's a big deal. And he thinks if he's sexual, he's creepy and it's a bad thing. And I'm going to get me too, all this stuff. Right. And so there's all this garbage. And I think the most important thing with game, there's a couple things. One, which I asked AI, like, what are your, and AI is often very wrong, obviously. So tell me if it's wrong. But I asked, like, what are your major beliefs, right? And it said you suggested, like, there was an emphasis on, like, just approaching a ton of women.
Mhm.
Like it said, there was some video where you said approach 25 women a day
Oh
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And now I would say that's going to be hard for most guys to actually do. Like I could do it.
Right.
I'd say that's like in terms of time investment, that's hard. But
Mhm.
if you did that, if you could do 25 women a day approach, even if your strategy is pretty or your game is pretty or you're like
Mhm.
ugly or whatever, you're still going to get pretty good results if you did that.
Right.
And no one watching this who's complaining, like 99.9% of the guys are like, I'm not getting results. It's because I'm not tall enough. And you approach 4 women in your fucking life.
Right. Exactly.
Like, how many women did you actually invite home with you in the last month? 0. So
right.
shut the fuck up.
No,
Like,
that's a
oh,
fact.
I'm using Tinder with my photos in my basement in dark light and I'm not getting matches. Get a photo shoot and like, what is wrong with you? So people like they complain way too easily
Mhm.
before thinking about, okay, I could be taking more action. And like, oh, a girl rejects me. Look, my fucking great grandpa was in World War II. Now I'm not going to say what side because I'm part German, but he was in. They were in wars,
Mhm.
right? Like they were sacrificed, and like you can't approach a girl like
Mhm.
Jesus fucking Christ. Like what was the percent? It was like 64 have approached
Yes,
and
a little bit. Right.
46 or whatever. Like
And
crazy, bro.
and this is the last thing I'll say because I got to head out in a
Mhm.
second.
Yeah.
But yeah, even with that, because when I tell guys to talk 25 women a day, I'm basically telling them to try to make 25 contacts a day. So that could be like 5 girls in out in public or like 10 girls online or whatever. It has to be like at least going for that number so that guys can get more immersed into it. But you're right. What happens is that when guys are putting themselves out there consistently, then they're going to see some sort of results because what happens is that as you go along, you start to learn more about yourself. You start to develop your sort of like style and comfortability when talking to women. And I think the problem is most guys they sit on the sideline instead of actually putting themselves out there to see where they're at. Because sometimes I've had situations like this. I had a client once where he was like, "Oh, I'm scared to talk to women. I don't know this and this and that." And I took him out, and this dude was killing it. And I said, "Bro, I said, like, what's the deal?" Like, he was like really good at conversation, flirting, and all these other different things. It's just that he was never doing it. You see what I'm saying? So he didn't realize the level he was at because he wasn't doing it. And so a lot of guys got to do it just to even see the level where they're at to see how much work they need with approaching and doing all these things, and then they'll actually make things happen better. But I want to say, man, I appreciate this. This was good. I think this is the best one because we actually talked about things. I feel like more that was like that was going on. And appreciate you, Ice White, and guys, and appreciate you, Avery, for coming through, man. And guys, make sure you go to shoplocario.com, get the program, the massive game collection. It is there right now, a discount price until August 31st. And last thing I want to say, Avery, has anyone told you you look like Joshua Jackson?
I've never heard that one. I'll have to look him up to see if how I feel about
You
that.
look just like Joshua Jackson. I was like, that shit's crazy.
But you know what? All right, I was hearing a lot. I've lost like 40 pounds in the last half a year, largely, by the way, from going out and the steps, right? Like you do 15,000 steps a day. So if you're fat, you're like, I'm too fat to get laid. They're not going to like me. First of all, you can still do it. But second of all, you'll lose weight by going out and approaching because you get a ton
Right.
of steps.
Exactly.
But I was getting the fucking vice president a lot. And I didn't like that one. So hopefully I haven't got that in a bit.
Right.
JD
What's his
Hayden.
name? Yeah, JD. Yeah, JD Vance.
Oh shit. Yeah, I can see that a little bit.
Yeah, well, you probably would have seen it more 40 pounds
Right.
heavier. So I'll have to look that guy up. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is a good debate. This is my first time doing a debate, but I mean, we could have just yelled at each other, but I
Right.
thought there would be more to gain from it for the audience if
Right.
I don't know, it might be less entertaining, but I thought there'd be more to gain from it if it's respectful, you know?
I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
And look,
Yeah.
if I was debating wheat waffles, though, I might not be respectful because I fucking hate that guy. But so there, to be fair, like I think your intentions are way better,
Right.
and you know what you do is way better than someone like wheat waffles. To
Right.
be fair, so it's you're not like one of these weirdo black pill guys
Right.
saying if
Like,
you're a six, just kill yourself. Like
right.
that's
Right.
literally, bro, it's crazy.
Mhm.
That's a fact. All right, y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna head out, man. Y'all be safe.
Thanks.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. All right. Peace. Peace.
Thanks for dropping in. Avery, feel free to stay for a little bit if you want to,
Yeah, if there's if I
or if
can
you need
answer
to
a couple
go.
questions, maybe 10 minutes or so. If there's
Yeah,
the
I'm just
viewership,
gonna
that's
say,
crazy for your, I guess you
yeah,
must have brought viewers or something because 250 live for 15K subs is insane. That's more than like I've been
it's
on channels with like 100K subs or 200K subs that get less live viewers. So that's pretty crazy. Maybe they just
that
like
it's
debates. I don't know.
it's kind of yeah, it's weird because the dating coach panels sometimes get less, well, they pretty much almost always get less views
I
than
think
the
the title,
debates.
I'm working on changing that title because I think panel is a little boring. But
It's
um,
it's a it's a strategy play, but there I seen I used to work for Google. I was in a YouTube meeting today. Lots of
oh, really?
YouTubers there, and Mr. Beast gave me a fucking shirt a few days ago. Well, he shipped it over a month ago. I'm just hard to mail
Wow.
to.
Okay.
But it's weird because I was literally talking to a guy with 3 million subscribers, and he was struggling like with something. So it's really weird how it works. Like even if you get millions. Like there's a crazy insider YouTube statistic where they told us recently that guys, the more subscribers you have, the harder it is to get channel memberships. That's just one example, but there are so
Mm.
many things. Yeah. I
Yeah,
got
it
all
depends.
this
I mean, I know
inside
there's people
YouTube
with in the
information.
hundreds of K subs who don't even barely make a living, right? Whereas,
So here's the crazy strategy behind Game Global, which kind of happened unintentionally. Like I started off my first ever in-person interview was probably with Ross Jeffries, and he stopped uploading on his channel years ago. He has a
mm,
few here and there over the last few years. But then I interviewed guys like Luke Crow, who used to be part of RSD, a bunch of other guys.
yeah, I
And,
know him.
and some of these guys like had dead channels. They
He lost a
stopped
lot of
uploading.
weight, but
So yeah, exactly. I was like, who the fuck are you when I saw him in person a few years back. But it's funny because those guys, especially who stopped uploading, I would gain their traffic because I suddenly have them in my videos on my
hmm
channel. So we became more and more collaboration based, and I don't do many one-on-one interviews anymore.
hmm
But the only reason this happened really is because my wife got cancer at the end of 2022, and I was like, I got to do
Wow, I'm
more.
sorry to
And
hear
then
that.
I just started interviewing one or two guys. And then after like one or two interviews, I think it was Bad Boy, Daniel Nessick, who was in the book The Game, who got shot in the head, and Alex Social, who used to be RSD Alex. Just those two guys. After that, I was getting so many different coaches messaging me saying, can you interview me? Can you interview me? And I was like, I don't know a damn thing about it. Like all these fucking people. I like never heard of some of them before. So I was like, let me just put all of them together. And that's how
Yeah,
I just started the panels, and then the debates happened after that. I went to Vegas because of the first debate, and Dan Bilzerian fucking showed up. So, and I
that's
only
cool.
had like
What was the debate? Who,
4,000
like Michael
subscribers at the
Sartain,
time.
I'm
Yeah,
guessing?
Marcus Wolf against Michael Sartain or others there, but it was
Yeah,
Cold
okay.
Approach
Yeah, yeah.
versus Social Circle Game.
hmm
But
Yeah, I
I
saw that one.
really
That one
like
was one of the, I usually wouldn't watch that because, you know, when you're a coach, you know, I don't care about the
that was fucking
content, but that one
stressful.
was interesting to me. So, that one and the Marcus versus Locario are the two. Marcus, I mean, they get aggressive when he comes on, but they're interesting at least. Um, but yeah, too bad I didn't see you in Vegas. So if there's any, I don't know, like with as many live viewers as there's been, there must be some questions or some things to respond to.
People are kind of dropping off since it's
I don't have that
the end.
because
We
if
still got a
for
lot of
people
people.
watching, we're not doing this on YouTube. It's on Zoom, so I can't see the comments.
No, you can see it on if you
Oh, I
open
can see it
YouTube on
here.
your phone or whatever.
Well, yeah,
Not
I
on
can.
Zoom, not on Zoom. But anyway, just to keep this going for a little bit longer, I like the things about like exposure. Basically, you are both agreeing on you guys are literally not going out to a lot of the guys out there in society.
46% of the people watching. Yeah.
And well, like the stats that I showed, those are from the pickup community itself. Those are the guys who are more likely.
That might be
Those guys
better.
are
Yeah, that's actually
exposed.
probably a higher percentage than the YouTube,
So
right? Because
it's
they
better than
joined a group, so
society.
they show, bro, you know what's crazy? Like we have free groups, or I have a free group on Skool, you have a free group on Telegram, Facebook. Like if you like the channel, why would you not join the group, right? Like you might meet people, like you're not gonna like lose something. It's completely free. But even getting people to do that is like too much for a lot of people. Like that's too much action to take, right? Like they're so passive, they won't even join a free group, which is kind of crazy. Like they won't even do that.
That's a
So
fun
the YouTube
topic.
audience, like there's many more
Hmm.
people that probably the percentage that approaches worse because they're so passive, they can't even join a fucking free group, which is insane.
Oh man, you want to hear something crazy? You're literally just talking
Mhm.
about human competency. You know why dating apps suck? Is because people using them most of the time are too incompetent. Like they get a message, they don't reply, or they send stupid messages because they're incompetent. They don't have good message game. And when it comes to like scheduling, more incompetence. So it's like the fundamental flaws of dating apps are the fundamental flaws of humans. There's like this bar of how inefficient humans are, and that affects dating in every angle. So the guys who are
Yeah.
actually doing cold approach, like they're taking the ball by the horns, they're doing something about it. And there are
And
guys
even
who
if you are
are
somewhat incompetent, you can do okay. That's kind of one of the points I try to get out there. I recently had a video where I tried to act as nervous as I could while approaching, and I didn't do the best job. I tried to act like awkward. Um, and I approached girls and still got their numbers. Um, and the point was, I've had many, many clients who are kind of awkward and let's say not even good looking, average looking. But just the fact that they went for it, the girl is like, okay, I appreciate your courage. I'm down with that. Like, I haven't got laid in a month. The only guys hitting me up are on Tinder. You're not blackout drunk. You're like approaching me. All right, why not? Let's see where this goes. Let's go on a date. And it doesn't like, obviously, that's not optimal, right? It's not like the best approach. It's just you did something. But the value of that is underestimated. And the amount of guys who are like thinking game is too hard when they haven't even done, let's say a baseline is like 250 approaches. If you're going to be a black pillar and say it's my looks, well, first of all, you better be fucking shredded, right? You better, if you're obese and you're complaining about your looks, shut the fuck up and don't be obese. But if you're shredded, okay, and you're like, I'm just a 4 out of 10, it's never going to work. And I'm like, how many girls have you approached? 3. And they all said no. Okay, cool. Approach 250. You could, if you really tried, you could do that in a month, but let's say over 6 months. Do that in 6 months, and then let's see how you feel. And make sure that you approach with a compliment. Don't say, don't reject me because I'm too short, right? Like approach them normally, ask them on a date, and guess what? You do 250, you're going to get some dates. Now, it's not going to be 50 dates, probably, right? It's going to be like 10 dates or something, but you're going to get some results. And then you're going to build some confidence, and then you're going to start getting more results. It's either going to be an upward spiral or a downward spiral. And most guys are taking so little action, like zero action effectively, or like 3 approaches. Like I saw a survey where you did have the 3 approaches, but you also had higher numbers, right? What was the like percentage that did the highest? Do you remember? Because I know I did one where I asked like how many did over 100 approaches in the last month, and I got like it was only 2 people. It wasn't a huge survey, but out of the 100 votes, it was like 2 people said over 100. Now I'm not saying everyone needs to be doing that many, but I did
But
100
there's the
probably this
interesting
week, bro.
thing. Because I recently, like, this is always in our subconscious somewhere, but this really just comes down to low volume and high volume game. So
Mhm.
it's like I didn't really think about this consciously until recently. So I put out a poll. Are you a high volume approach machine, or are you a low volume social
Mhm.
opportunist? And I was showing some of the new coaches I'm taking on locally across the USA and other parts of the world who are doing like mini boot camps. I was showing them like whenever you're going a date, that's like an opportunity to like take a photo of like whatever you're doing and show the guys like I'm here on a date, like here like a little taste of results. And I was showing examples from all the way back in like 2017, 2018, and I completely forgot like even back then. I could go in Google Photos and you could literally see photos like 5 days in a row and dates every single day, 5 days in a row, or like 4 times in a week. And I wasn't the best back then. And I was never a high volume guy. I never did like 100 approaches in a month. What I did have was social opportunity and taking those opportunities very competently and using, I guess you could say, the compliance techniques where you're simply using message game, getting matches. I was
Was
doing
it
other
more
things too, like
online
night game.
or
A mixture of things. So night game,
okay?
social circle game, and message game. I was never really a day gamer, but that's not to say like I never talked to people in a grocery store or something. I just don't go to like Washington Square Park in New York or Oxford Street in London,
Yeah,
for
I mean,
example.
yeah, it
I
depends on
don't
the
fucking
city.
go
Some
there.
cities, I think day game is good. A lot of cities, a lot of people are like, I don't like night game. And my question to them is, do you like hot women? Yes? No. Okay. If no, then I'll show you the gay bars or whatever. You can go there. But like,
They
if
put on their
yes,
makeup to go
like,
out
bro,
at
if you're
night.
like, I'm from, yeah, there you go. I'm from Tucson. In Tucson, if you're in college age range, which I'm not going to tell you what age you shouldn't go to a college campus, but if you're in an age range where it makes sense that you go to the campus, day game's amazing in the campus. But if you're like 35, 40, you're probably not going to go to the college campus. Day game sucks, but the nightclubs are still good, right? And there's going to be tons of hot women. So a lot of guys are afraid of nightclubs or they tell themselves they don't like nightclubs. Who cares? Like, do you want more opportunities? And another thing they'll say is like, there's no high quality women on clubs, right? They also say this for dating apps. I've heard both. And like, is it less than if you were to go to like the library at Harvard? Yeah, you're going to get more high quality women probably at the library at Harvard. I mean, depending on what you're into, than the average nightclub. But guess what? My last girlfriend was a virgin. She was religious. She wasn't good at it, but she was religious. She was a virgin. She was Muslim, technically. She's getting her PhD from Oxford. Every guy who meets her is like, oh, you should marry her. She's so amazing, hot, whatever. I met her at a nightclub, right? The virgin ideal girl or whatever. So a lot of people like they give nightclubs this negative connotation, which are there like weird girls that are just trying to get free drinks and go to the tables? Yeah, especially somewhere like Vegas. Is that all of them? Fuck no. So the idea that you shouldn't go there, I think it's a big excuse a lot of people watching this have, and it's like, why not? And if you're gonna say I prefer day game, that's fine as long as you're actually doing day game. And with you like being a social opportunist, I think that's great if you can do that. So the problem is a lot of guys can't do that. Like a lot of guys, they just have natural, like even me, I naturally was diagnosed with social anxiety, panic disorder. Someone like that, it's going to be, they're going to have to start talking to a lot of people and then they can be a social opportunist. Right. So now that I approach all the time, it's not a big deal to me. I'm comfortable with it. I've met girls like in a yoga studio or a grocery store, just random opportunities, whatever, and I can pull them now or in the gym. But if you're new and you're like, I'm going to find the opportunity at the gym and that's going to be my thing, you're not going to get any girls, right? Unless you're like one of those few people who just has that natural skill set, which I'd say 10% maybe do. And 90%, you have to like get over your fear of anxiety or fear of rejection, get over the approach anxiety and take a lot of action and just stop being a bitch, right? Like imagine you're doing sales and ask yourself, if I were to be a good salesman, would I take one call a week or would I take 50 calls a day? Now, obviously, you're not doing 50 approaches a day, but what are you going to move towards? And it's the latter. And you're going to
Volume.
get better.
Exposure. Literally just presence. I
Yeah.
call this Virtual presence and physical presence. It's really fucking simple. Like I go on
It applies
Reddit,
online
which is
too. Yeah.
a fucking cesspool of guys who don't know what the fuck they're doing and people giving shit advice. And it's like, am I cooked, bro? I'm a virgin at 27 or 36 or whatever. And I literally just ask questions sometimes like, but what have you actually done? Because if you're using Tinder and stuff like that, you have virtual presence. That's a form of it. If you have Instagram, that's for more virtual presence. If your Instagram profile has no fucking profile picture, you got 2 followers and it's fucking private, you got zero fucking virtual presence.
More like
You got no
negative,
fucking
actually.
Facebook, no fucking virtual presence. If you don't leave the fucking house, you got no physical presence. So do you have one of them or do you have both or do you have zero? Because if
Yeah,
you can
ideally
have
both, but a lot of guys it's neither.
exactly,
So what about
it's just
with
so limiting.
online? A lot of guys like the problem is they make a dating profile, but their pictures fucking suck. And even me, like my pictures, I got the pictures I thought were decent of me. Like this is like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Um, I didn't get many matches with my best pictures, and they were taken by a photographer, not a dating photographer, but just a pro photographer who did. It was my I was dating her. It was a girl I was dating. She did nature,
Perks.
and she took pictures of me. Yeah, I was like, all right, if we're gonna break up, you're gonna get me laid. It didn't work though. She intentionally took the pictures bad, in which case I respect her that much more. But these pictures she got they got rated like a 5.1 out of the best one, 5.1 out of 10 on Photo Feeler if you get it rated by women online. And so I didn't get many matches. So you could say, I mean, I was trying, I had online presence, but I wasn't getting any matches, right? So I think there has to be you have to make the specification that just having a dating profile, like that's a starting point, sure. But like you should put in some effort to making sure the pictures are actually like, because online dating is something where if you get one really good photo shoot with 6 pictures for Hinge is the best in most places. I don't know if you agree with that, but generally I'd say Hinge is the best results I've gotten lately. And you need 6 pictures for Hinge, right? So if you get 6 good pictures, that can 25, 50, 100x your results on dating apps, right? So you can feel like I'm doing online dating, but you have pictures in your attic or whatever. Is very different than once you've actually established a good profile. And I think a lot of the black pill movement, I think a lot of the guys that get into that, it's because they have bad pictures. They get no matches except with like, not hot ones, let's just say. And they think it's hopeless, right? They think they're ugly, even though they're not. Their pictures just suck. Because my worst pictures, I've gotten pictures rated like a 3 out of 10. Then some of the pictures I actually thought were good that I used were a 5 out of 10, 5.1. And I can show, like, if guys watching this, I can prove it. I can show the receipts or whatever, the pictures and the rating. And then my best pictures are 9.6 out of 10. What do you think the difference is in the amount of matches that my 3, 5, and 9.6 pictures get?
Well,
It's
it's
not
crazy because you
double.
could get like it could be a drastic fucking difference.
So I literally I got a date. I actually couldn't go on it. I actually had to flake her, which is funny because I had to meet a client. But I got a date with Miss Sao Paulo, which I know, we're all fans of Brazil and Brazilian women. And Miss Sao Paulo, that's pretty good from fucking dating app because my pictures are so good. And that's just painting a picture. I've got I can get most of the girls I date now are actually in person. I don't really prefer dating apps. To me, it's more fun. But can you get hot girls online if you have good pictures? As long as you're not like obese, probably yes. Right?
Oh,
If you're
definitely
obese, then
yes.
you gotta work on it.
I literally matched with a L'Oreal model and she was my last girlfriend. She was on
Wow, nice.
TV and
Nice.
everything. So it's the guys who say dating apps are full of transgenders and uglies. Those are
Well,
the
there's a
guys
decent
who
amount of
are
those, but
swiping right. Yeah, they are there, but those are the guys who are being shown those because they place themselves on the bottom of the pile by interacting with the
and hey,
algorithm
let's
in the
not
wrong
shame. We
ways
if
and
they
having
like
a shit profile.
transgenders, that's fine. In fact, in a way, that's better. That counts. That
Yeah, it's
counts.
like you should get bonus
If
points if
not
you're a
double
dating
points, yeah.
coach,
Yeah.
like John Anthony Lifestyle. Like that's like back in the RSD days, you remember that they're like, why don't we have a a dating coach in a wheelchair and have like all these minority dating coaches.
And like a
Like
trans dating
there's
coach.
that's a good example right there. Like I hope everyone
Yeah,
had
this
a happy
the
Pride
community
Month.
is getting more accepting, right? It's getting more rainbow friendly or whatever. So we can't get canceled. It's actually smart to be the trans friendly one. To
Exactly.
or even be trans, say you like trannies, because then you can't get canceled. So I think that's the direction we should go in as a community. All right, if there's any interesting questions or anything you see, I can answer.
Someone
Um,
says here, Lottery Guru 7 question, AG, do you prefer direct or indirect when approaching in the field?
so that's I can't give a yes or no answer because it depends on the girl. So like it depends on the vibe I get from her is the number one thing, but I would say it depends on a few things like her ethnicity. So for example, if she's Latina, I'm more likely to go direct because they tend to like direct more. If she's Asian, I'm less likely to go direct because they tend to like direct less. So it depends on the girl. But it's also like the archetype they are. So if they look like they might be bitchy, then I'm more likely to go indirect. If they look more open, I'm more likely to go direct. So it depends. I would say most guys need to learn to, sack up or whatever and do a bunch of direct approaches to get over the fear of being direct and to realize they're not all going to be like, oh, you harassed me, toxic masculinity, like piece of shit, whatever. Some girls are just going to be like, oh, I have a boyfriend. No, thank you. As occasionally they'll even be rude and give you a mean look. Like occasionally, that's not even common. A lot of the time they're going to be at the very least, oh my god, thank you, but I have a boyfriend, or they're like, oh my god, thank you, what's your name, right? You're going to get some very receptive responses by going direct, and you're going to get over a lot of your fear of putting your balls on the line, right? And I think most guys, that's one of the things you have to do. So I think learning to go direct is very important. And then once you're comfortable with it, direct versus indirect, it's like pros and cons. There's pros and cons. Like, for example, with the mystery method, if it's a group with guys and they look very unapproachable, going indirect is generally going to be better, right? Saying like one, I sometimes use this opener is do I look like a drug dealer? It's a classic opinion opener. It's not super weird. Like who lies more is a little weird. Men or women, for those who don't know. But the do I look like a drug dealer? And then they're like, yes, no, whatever. And you just say that people have come up to you and asked you for coke, which does happen to me occasionally. So it's not a total lie. Um, and then you transition from that to something
Actually, you do
else.
look like a drug dealer. Now
I'll
that I
take it. It
think
better
about
be like,
it.
a cool
Happened
drug.
to me
But
too.
yeah, so it happens. So it's not a complete lie, but that's a way to break the ice to where you're not being like threatening to the fact that there's guys. So it depends. So this was my main disagreement with Locario is that there's like not clear answers on a lot of things. It depends on the situation and it depends on what you're looking for, right? So uh, you can technically get a higher percentage of women going indirect, but you're probably, if your game has mistakes, you're going to lose way more by going indirect than going direct. Because if you go direct, you're at least going for it, and the girls who are receptive, you'll get. But if you're indirect, you might half-ass the whole approach, not really make a move, not lead enough, and it's very easy to just kind of reject yourself. So that it's maybe not the answer you're looking for, but that's
That
the
makes a
best
lot
answer I
of
can give to that.
sense. That just made me realize like I'm an indirect guy, but what was very efficient about how I set up dates was really that I wasn't trying to like pull her home immediately. That's what direct guys are doing. So they have like less steps. So in a way, it is more efficient. Whereas guys who do indirect game, and I'm one of those guys, some of those guys might like take her on a less efficient date, which has if these direct gamers are taking her straight home, they don't have to worry about logistics. Like they're just going home. But the indirect guys, they're going to have to face the logistical issues
Overcomplicated.
inevitably. And then if they're
She
doing
might also
dates wrong,
lose
it's going to be
state, right?
complicated.
So she might be, buying temperature, right? So she might be like down DTF when she met you. And if you went direct, she'd be like, all right, let's get out of here. Because a lot of my polls lately, they end up being within like 30 minutes. And, I'm picky. I'm not like pulling anything. Like it's girls I genuinely find really attractive. even those, a lot of time it's actually really fast. Like I want to get to know them a little bit too. I'm just not like, you're hot, let's fight. Actually want to know we get along to a decent level and they're not going to be like weird and annoying, you know, because some girls are. Um, but a lot of my polls are within like 30 minutes. However, if you go indirect with that same girl, she was DTF, but because you didn't pull the trigger, it fizzles out. She gets bored. And she's like, this guy, either he's a bitch, he's a pussy, or I guess he must not like me, so I'll reject myself. And so for a lot of guys, that's a bigger problem than going for it. So you'll get more overall success by just being the guy that consistently at least makes a move, right? Like makes your intentions clear,
Perfect
than
example
the guy
for
who
you.
doesn't. Go ahead.
How about this metaphor? You ever, of course you have, you ever been in that position where you're watching a movie with a woman? Maybe it's
By the way, I have
Netflix
to
or
take
you
a
went
piss
to the
really bad. I'm going to
movies.
mute, but I'll still hear everything.
It's a short question. I don't think it's going to be that long. But have you ever been to the movies or watched Netflix at home, whatever, and you just been there, like when you were starting off with game and you wanted to make the move, you wanted to put your arm around her, but you just didn't? He's doing a piss right now, so I gotta keep this going. But that happened to me. It happens to everyone. Like there's a scene in Cheaper by the Dozen 2, I think is the one where the two parents of the boy and girl, and they're only like 12 or something, they go on this date, and he's like, "Oh, he's doing the move. What's the move?" And just puts his fucking arm over. I literally watched a TV show, which I already watched a week before, for 2 fucking hours before I finally built up the courage to put my arm around her. And then by the time I did, I literally realized I wasted 2 hours when I just could have done that in the first few minutes. I was like waiting for a happy scene. I was like, oh shit, someone just fucking died in the show. This is not a good time to put my arm around her. All these excuses. But in the end, I just realized you just have to fucking do it because when you finally do, that's when you realize, okay, I need to make moves earlier, actually. Because like first a week I moved to London, I pulled multiple times in the first week, but one of them I went to a nightclub and this woman was talking to me for like straight up 1 hour or something. And then I just stopped talking and she was like still looking at me, blinking, and I was like, okay, I'm taking way too long. Let me just fucking pull her now because obviously she's fucking interested. It just took me way too fucking long. So that's a lesson you have to learn. But in order to learn that, you actually have to put yourself out there
Mm-hmm.
and be in those experiences in the first place.
So yeah, I've had that happen like, I don't know, tons of times when I was younger. It was the putting your arm around her. It was going for the kiss. I was literally worried because I didn't kiss a girl until I was 19. So the first handful of girls that I kissed, I was like, I
Damn,
might
I was
miss.
four
I was
years
thinking I was
old. Beat that.
okay. I'm worried. I don't want to ask about the context, bro. But all right. Um, that's that's concerning. That's like, you know, is this It's Always Sunny Philadelphia Charlie or so? Anyway, um,
Questionable.
I just don't know what they're doing. Is it a guy or a girl? But anyway, um, so first kiss, I'd only kissed a few girls, and I was literally like fantasizing that I would miss their lips. I was like, oh, what if I miss? Like, what if I can't get to their lips? I go too high or too low. That was like I was paranoid about that, right? There was an example, the like putting your arm over is a common one. There was a specific one I remember where this girl, she probably invited herself to my place. I doubt I had the balls to do it. And we ended up massaging each other, and entire bodies, you know, massaged her ass and everything. And then I, in my head, was like, well, I'll know she's into me if if she leans in to kiss me. Otherwise, she's not into me. And so massaged her ass, everything. She did the same. Slept next to each other in bed. We wake up. She's like, that's not what I was expecting. Patted me on the back. Never saw her again. We worked together, and she just didn't even go back to the job. I don't know, like it was bad. It wasn't a great job, but I think it was like it's just too embarrassing that she didn't even want to go back
Jesus.
to the job.
Holy
So
shit.
that was like I am familiar with the not going for it, and just going for it has so much value because women, they're nervous too, and if they like you, they're hoping you do it, right? And if you do it, even if it's a little janky, they're like, all right, why not? You know, they're like, yeah, I like this guy. Let's make it happen. Like, guys they put it on this pedestal, this huge deal. It's crazy, it's magical. It's just like, bro, sex is, if you think about sex logically, like it's not that romantic or magical. It's kind of weird.
You
So
just gotta
they want
find
it,
the
you want
hole,
it.
push it in, and kiss her in the right place. That's basically it. There's nothing crazy to it.
Put fluid
You
in
know,
fluid. Yeah,
aside
yeah.
from guys having like endurance issues, aside from that, but no, you
Endurance
really just
issues. Look,
gotta
when people have that, I'm like,
experience.
look, just get a blowjob, finish with the blowjob, and then after, you're probably going to last a second time. So for a lot of guys, like that's one solution. We could go. That's a whole topic.
Home run. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
got a
that's
panel for that. We got a
yeah,
panel
we got a
for
panel
that.
for that. So yeah, if there's no other like really interesting questions, I
Well, yeah.
will head
Any
out.
final comments? Any final
Yeah,
comments?
I mean, if you thought like, what I had to say was interesting, you can find my channel on YouTube. It's a.g.hayden. My website is averyghayden.com. You can find out more about me there. And I'd say, one of the things that makes me stand out, I mean, I have a very practical approach to this. It's very like I'm literally doing experiments. It's nerdy, but I'm doing experiments where I'm trying, and I'm going to make videos out of this direct game versus indirect game, do 100 of each and see which one ends up having a higher success rate. For example, like that's an example, direct versus indirect. It could be this versus that. Testing things like A/B testing, split testing, if you know marketing or science. So like I like seeing what is most ruthlessly effective and how do you get there. And that's what my whole background is. That's what I'm interested in, is finding out what works the best. And even if it's something that goes against what I used to think, I don't care, right? I'll just change my opinion on that. And I'm one of the handful of coaches that actually shows that I walk the walk, which I think is, to me, that's a point of, it's a red flag if someone doesn't have some kind of evidence of results. Now, client results is a good start, like testimonials and screenshots and stuff like that. But the other thing is like showing, if you're talking about approaching women and you've never shown footage of yourself, like a hidden camera infield or not hidden. I mean, you can get the girl. Like if you, some guys are like, well, I don't want to do it because, I don't want to do secret footage or whatever. Right. You can ask girls after and some will say, okay. Right. Like, you can get the footage. But I'm doing that on a daily basis. So I'm filming my approaches. Yesterday, I got 2 dates out of 7 approaches, and I'm going to post those approaches and show how I did it, as opposed to purely being, a theory junkie, just talking about picking up women.
100%. All right, thanks for jumping in. I'm just going to close off with what's coming up next. We've got some good shit
For
coming
sure.
on. Thanks for jumping in. Next debates we got on Sunday. We got a shitload of debates happening in the next few fucking days. It's fucking crazy. We got Dean Raymond versus Eric Kohlberg ablaze. So that's Mystery's wingman ablaze against Dean Raymond. Dean is English and he is doing some energy game, I guess. So that's going to be pretty interesting to find out what that's about. He has been pretty controversial recently in the chats. So people are like criticizing his energy game, him defending it, saying "fuck you," and it pretty exciting. So that one should be pretty fucking funny. And then next week we literally just scheduled this today, so this isn't on the YouTube previews yet. We got Deepak Dating versus Marcus Wolf. That should be in on Thursday. Well, it depends on what time zone you're in. For most of you, it's going to be Thursday next week. So that's going to be an interesting one too. We got panels coming up. So I'm trying to do an Indian dating coach panel, a Japanese Nampa dating coach panel. It's pretty fascinating. I've been trying to contact some of the Japanese Nampa guys. Nampa is pickup in Japanese, and they're doing a few things differently. So I'm trying to maintain the connection there and find out what are the Japanese doing different. What are the Indians doing different? Because in India, some cultural differences because of religion. And for example, it's illegal in India to stay in a hotel room with a woman unless you show a marriage certificate in both of your names. So some people may argue it's harder to game in India. So if there are guys doing well in India, those are guys worth learning from. That is going to be really interesting. And the Japanese guys, like the way they're doing content is completely different. So I think we're going to Japaneseify a few things over the next few months. And soon we're aiming to have a social circle game panel. Michael Sartain, Justin Mark, a bunch of our people. That's going to be a fucking killer one. Like, seriously, guys, if you're not even doing social circle game, just take away this little metaphor. If you approach 10 women, let's just keep a low number here for simplicity. If you approach 10 women, get 5 phone numbers, go on 2 dates, okay, you went on 2 dates. If you approach 10 women, befriended 8, uh, and you became Facebook friends, Instagram followers with 8 or 7, whatever, however many it is, those people are part of your army in the long run, and they can like your photos. You can meet those women again in social context, use the friend frame, get laid with a few of them over uh, the next few weeks or even days, and go through like where people always ask, like, where can I meet women? Women know women. If you want to meet a shitload of women, just meet the female friends of your female friends. It is fucking endless. I got too many fucking examples to give, but I'll just leave it there. Drop in the comments who you think won this one. What the fuck is going on with my camera? This looks kind of weird. Um, and drop in the comments any questions. Who should be on another debate? There was a guy asking, uh, make sure you invite John Anthony Lifestyle. I did over a year ago, back in like February or March 2024, or actually way before that, 2 years ago, I think. And I invited him to debate. I gave him a list of names of people who are interested. I literally did videos on this already, and he refused every single time. Literally because he's just a coward and he's afraid of the reason basically is he wants control of the comments. That's why he doesn't go on other people's channels, because if you see him on other people's channels, you'll see a shitload of comments. Don't take my word for it. Just research yourself. And if my words line up with what you see, tell me I'm right. That's it. I'm not trying to convince you. Look for yourself. 21 Studios, his appearance, and there was another one like a Suscast or something. Yeah, those were the 2 channels. Look at the comments. It's fucking ridiculous, like how many comments are dedicated to talking shit about him. Like, I get it. If you're bullied, like you'll want to stay away from negativity and shit like that. But the guy is negativity. He's the most negative guy in the industry, and he just talks shit about people. I gave him the opportunity to debate. I was very friendly, and he literally just started bashing me for no fucking reason. And there's just been this weird fucking thing ever since where he makes videos about me, and I just take clips of him talking bullshit, and all I do is literally just prove him wrong, prove him wrong, prove him wrong. There's another lie. There's another lie. So I'm not going to talk much more about this, but yeah, that's the reason why he doesn't come on debates, because he's scared of none. That's it. Those guys who came on these panels and debates, these guys have balls. So even if you don't agree with the ideas of Mr. Locario, Avery Hayden, whoever the fuck it is, Mystery Ross Jeffries, in any debates or panels, at least these guys have the balls to show up. That's all I'm saying. I don't need to say any more than that. I'm not afraid to fucking speak my fucking mind. So that's it. Um, Reach out if you have any questions, coaching. If you have any questions like about a certain coach you're interested in taking a boot camp with, send me a message. Like I literally get reports on shit coaches, and I know who the good ones are and the bad ones are at this point. I'm literally recommending people every single fucking week at this point. I got like 4 messages today asking me for recommendations on which coach is good from like the list they gave me. And I was like, okay, all of these are good. I met this one. I know this one is very good and stuff like that. So just ask me. I'm not trying to sell you my stuff. I'm trying to show like what Game Global has evolved into being is let's just show everyone's advice. Like there isn't one way to do game. There's so many ways to do a game. And I know some people can be like, you gotta do it this way and shit like that. I'm like that when it comes to message game advice. I kind of believe there's pretty much one way to do it the right way is because I built something incredibly fucking efficient. So when I see other people's advice, I'm like, that shit. But of course, our egos will present us with the opportunity to say these kinds of things. But yeah, just reach out. I'm gonna fucking leave it there. Catch you guys yeah, guys in the comments. You guys are fucking crazy. Let me read this. I haven't looked at the fucking chat for a while, actually. Let's see. Do Ice White. You put yeah, my name, you can literally just put in emojis, Ice Cube and white. So how long to grow out your beard? Fuck. I can't remember. I had a beard for more than 10 years. I don't know what my face looks like. Started off short until 2019 or 2020, actually. Yeah, 2020 was a shit show. So that's when this started. This started getting out of hand. This beard is going fucking crazy. And it doesn't help because my camera, as good as it kind of is, I'm way too close to the camera, so it kind of gives you too much detail. Uh, I need a new camera anyway. I don't give a shit really, so I don't have time. Haven't had time to shave for 10 years. How long it took? Probably I don't know. I don't take many photos of myself since 2020, as you can imagine. So probably yeah, I get it trimmed. I honestly tell my guy just shape it. That's it. I don't have the best beard. It's not great. But yeah, it's growing. Gravity will help me eventually. But anyway, yeah, this takes probably at the longest I've been. I did have a very long one before, but some fucking stupid Turkish barber chopped it all off because he didn't fucking speak English. Anyway, yeah, it takes a while, at least half a year, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, these other comments. She's leading you. Female friends are detrimental to your manhood because they're the ones that are leading you. I disagree. And interact with you on their terms. Why would it be on their terms? Just because the label is different. Like, this is what people don't get about friend zones. You're thinking of the friend zone. That's the difference. I talk about the friend frame. You're thinking about the friend zone. As in, you placed your intentions and she placed you in the friend zone because she rejected your intentions. I don't show intentions. So because I'm indirect. So the message here is she's human, you're human. The game is to get her in front of you. I don't give a shit what your label is, as long as she's not your sister or something like that. This isn't Alabama. I'm not in Alabama. I don't know about you guys, but it's literally just a label. It doesn't matter if she's your female friend, your girlfriend, whatever. You have a penis. She has a vagina. Something can happen. The fact that you're meeting in person is the thing that matters. Like this was subconscious to me years ago, and this is the reason why I was able to discover that this was such an incredible fucking strategy because you're not falling into the frame that she's setting what the label is. There is no fucking label. You're just two humans. She's a woman, you're a man, and the fact that you're giving opportunities to hang out in any social environment, whether it's one-on-one or in a group setting, you're literally just placing yourselves in front of each other, and what happens, happens. And of course, I don't make that happen just to see, oh, let me just sit here and things will happen. You still got to do game on the dates and everything. But the fact is, you're surrounding yourself with more opportunity. That's it. Like there's it's hard to explain social circle games sometimes, but I really recommend, and I was talking about this yesterday, looking at the Michael Sartain or Social Circle Game playlist on our channel. Because especially those videos from 3 years ago and 4 years ago, my first videos with Michael Sartain, he was explaining his concepts to me. So it's like those older videos are the best ones for you to watch because I already knew about social circle game. I was already doing it, but the way he explained it was like, ah, shit, I was doing so many fucking things right that are exactly the same things he's talking about. So make yourself more aware of the concepts of social circle game because I don't put those intentions out there. Like there are no fucking labels. You just gotta be an opportunist and hang out with women. Like female friends are not detrimental to your manhood. They're a good thing because female friends can lead you to more females, and female friends can put their vaginas on your penis. You're just thinking about the friend zone, so that's the difference. I got really good videos about this, so just send me a message if you're looking for these videos because I think this is the biggest fucking miss in all of game. In every fucking topic of game, this is the biggest fucking miss that 95% of guys at least just don't even comprehend because they're so used to labels or they just think things the wrong way. So anyway, let me check back on these other comments. John Anthony, a total fraud freak. Sums it up. He's afraid of being he is exposed. He literally exposed himself. All you gotta do is just put a clip of him and say nothing, and yeah, exposed. There you go. You got a fucking exposed video. That's it. Um, okay, so let me ask, Ice, are you gonna lead her towards the outcome that you want? Yeah. Or is she gonna lead you towards the outcome that she I don't what does she want? Like, she wants to hang out with people. She wants to have a social life. Hey, wait a minute. Was it Sydney Lauper who said girls just want to have fun? And if I'm just giving fun opportunities to hang out with me or fun opportunities and I'm there, I'm giving myself that exposure. She's being exposed to me. So I don't know how else to put it, really. So I don't think in terms of the outcome I want, the outcome she wants. She wants to have fun. I'm human. She wants to have sex. Like she doesn't not have a vagina. I don't not have a penis. Collision it's not inevitable, but collision in her life with someone is inevitable, unless she dies a virgin. And how many women actually die virgins? It's not many. A lot of men die virgins, but there we go. I swear, are you? Have you ever said? Oh yeah, I'm not hiding anything. I'm in Peru. I'm in Lima. I literally, yeah. People know the approximate location within the city. So yeah, everyone knows where I am. The only thing is that some people get confused thinking I'm passport bro because I'm in Peru. No, I'm just here because my wife happens to be from Peru and we happen to meet in a first world country. She was a tourist, I was a resident. I was living there for a few years on and off. That's how we met. And then I just like moved to her country. Well, we spent time in so many countries. So we're just travelers. It's fucking cheap here and the food's good. And I'm fucking hungry. So I'll stop this soon. Anyway, this guy's saying, no, the thing is, Dad, I want to get laid on my terms, which of course is fair enough. So if a woman portrays herself as my friend, she can lead me towards her agenda instead of mine. What's her agenda though? Like, what are you thinking her agenda is? If she decides to have sex with you on her terms, she's going to do exactly just that. Have sex with you on her terms. She can take away sex whenever she wants. Well, can't any woman do that? I don't get what you're trying to state here. Type in what you're trying to get to, but I don't think that matters. Like, have you ever experienced a woman before? I'm not criticizing you, but I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty sure this is how women are. It, I'm not gonna, I don't know. When you say things like sex on her terms, I think to that time when I went on the podcast and there was some OnlyFans girl there, and she was like talking about pegging guys. I'm like, I would not do that. Hell no. That's gay. I'm not gay. I'm not into that kind of shit. Like, that's her fucking you in your ass on her terms. Like, I'm aware of what my boundaries are. Uh, but if we're having sex, penis, vagina, or my penis and her anus, like her terms, my terms, I don't know what that's really supposed to mean. Um, I had an affair with a wonderful Peruvian girl years ago. Enjoyed my time with her immensely. Definitely. Yeah. I believe you. That makes a lot of sense. So I often say the phrase toxic Latina on these shows sometimes, but I got that quotation from my mother-in-law. So don't call me a misogynist. I'm just quoting an authentic female Peruvian, a toxic Latina. Anyway, yeah, following what you're saying here, she's the one that sets the terms and conditions and when you are going to have sex and when you're not getting it. If a woman desires you, she will have sex with you on your terms. Yeah, many ways this could go, I guess. But what I'm kind of thinking here is if one of my girlfriends in the past had a very high sex drive. I specifically remember her saying, I have a high sex drive. Like she said those exact words. And I was like, perfect. Uh, so her initiating sex, yeah, I'll take it, you know, most of the time. So I'm not really going to say no to that most of the time. And if I want to initiate sex and how that becomes frustrating for men when men get turned down when men try to initiate sex. It's a frustrating thing for a lot of men. So I think that's kind of where, in a sense, the term LMR comes from, which it's a term that I speak against. But yeah, I don't really understand how this has anything to do with like friendship because if she wants to have sex, cool. Okay. I'm not fucking arguing with her. So yeah, if she initiates, that's perfect. If she stops, then you need to have the abundance to just go out with another woman. So I don't think it needs to be more complicated than that. So yeah, I'm just like, I don't think there's more that needs to be said. What style of games should a fat, ugly girl you? Oh, okay. Are you the fat ugly girl? Like, where's this question come from? What style of game should a fat ugly girl use to pick up hot dudes? Do you think it's possible? Asking for a friend. Send your friend to me. I'm curious. We should do a fucking. I want to interview her. Just no judgment. I used to be fat. I'm still fat. I'm technically overweight right now by like 3 kilograms or something. I'm working on it. I lost 6 kilograms in 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago. Um, no judgment. What style of game should she use? I don't know. Cooking. Cooking would be a fucking good one. Like some say cooking is a way to man's heart. So if a woman is a good cook, like that's such a good thing. I love cooking. Like I'm kind of going against my own point here, but I have plenty of times when girls try to cooking for me, and I was like, "No, this cooking is shit." I cook way better. I'm like fucking Gordon Ramsay in the fucking kitchen. Get the fuck out of here! I'm fucking cooking. Get the fuck away from me. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm trying to fucking cook here. I'm such a good fucking cook. I'm not the best, but man, if a woman cooks for me, sometimes I'm just like, I appreciate the effort, but I could do much better myself. Yeah, I don't know. That's one thing. I don't want to get too much into that, but feel free to send her to me. I'm genuinely positively want to have a positive interaction and perhaps interviewing her. I think we're trying to plan some panels. Kieran was talking about this, having some more. All our panels and debates have never involved a woman apart from the Just Pearly Things debate with Ross Jeffries. So we want to have women on here. I don't care. They don't have to be attractive. I'm not trying to play those fucking gimmick games that like whatever podcast is trying to do, but humans are humans. So send her to me. I'll be interested to have her on, interview, whatever. Make yourself as attractive as possible and don't be too forward. That's from my perspective anyway. And be fun. Yeah. Yeah, that's part of it. Fun is such an underrated part because so many guys go on coffee date. I hate coffee. I don't drink coffee. Haven't had it for more than 20 fucking years. Fuck that shit. Uh, I'm very picky when it comes to food and drinks. But anyway, so naturally I avoided it, but fuck coffee dates. Like there's so many guys, especially PUAs, who are doing coffee dates, and some of them can put their good verbal game to use and they'll pull a lot. Like there are a good amount of guys going on coffee dates, getting good results. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think a mistake being made for perhaps most guys is picking the wrong date. So I got a video on this as well. Static dates versus fluid dates. Static date, imagine you go to a restaurant, you're sitting opposite each other. I know you don't have to, you sit next to her, but the food comes, you got to wait for the waitress. You can't eat and speak at the same time. There are limitations. You can't just get up and leave without paying your bill and shit like that. And then you got to worry about like who fucking pays, especially if you're American. I'm not American, but I am a cheapskate, redneck Jew. So there is that. I prefer the European style, where you just split. So that's not to say I wouldn't go on dates to like milkshake places and whatever. Like you gotta have food, and if you got lots of dates, you're inevitably gonna eat with someone. So I went on plenty of lunch, dinner, not formal, but food based or drink, not alcohol, kind of based dates. And the problem with those is it's very static in the sense that there's not much going on. It's all emphasized on the conversation. But if you go on a fluid date, and this is something Mystery did so right, if you go on a fluid date, he says like hop to whatever venue. That's a similar idea to this. And I didn't take this from Mystery, but I just realized, oh, Mystery almost does the same thing. If you focus on the fun and genuinely have a fun date activity and you extract it, I like to extract that information from her first, especially in a message game interaction. The free things line, what are free things you would love to do for a first date? Sometimes I get criticism from guys saying, like, why would you let her choose? I'm not letting her choose. I'm choosing out of her options according to what she finds fun, what we're going to do. And I have the power to reject the free things she offers and pick something that she didn't say. So keep that in mind, of course. But if she says free things, like one of them is ice skating, which is a perfect example for this. With ice skating, she can fall on her ass. You can laugh at her. She'll be okay with it. You can hold hands very easily. No sexual connotations there. Like holding hands is very innocent. It's fluid because there's movement involved and there's no emphasis on the conversation. You're just doing an activity. There are studies from I found this out from when I interviewed the professor at McGill University about his study on pickup artists. and mental health. He's a mental health expert. In mental health studies, it's better for men to treat their depression by doing an activity side by side with other people. Like in that case, the way it was described to me was like with other men, like fishing with other men, doing a woodwork workshop with other men, side by side activity, sport, team sport with other men. Um, that's just a confirmation that my strategy was a really good fucking strategy because if you set your dates up to be genuinely fun involving movement, you don't have to worry about what to say, first of all. So that's out the window because you're just focused on having fun. And because you're focused on having fun, there isn't really the potential for you to fuck up and say the wrong thing. Like you can say the wrong thing at any time, but because you're focused on the fun does the work for you. It's crazy because the fun pretty much does the game for you. And if you give her like genuinely one of the best date experiences she ever had, and you still haven't fucked yet. But then 1 hour passes by, and then after that activity, you take her home. She's having the time of her life. She's having fun. She literally just had a fun experience with you all throughout the date. You didn't sit down, have a conversation, interview each other as if it's like a job thing. Like you're trying to find reasons to filter each other out. But if you're having fun, you can't fuck it up. You can. I have. But there, it's crazy to explain because all you got to do is just focus on the fun, make the right moves, and lead. Leadership is a big thing that people miss here. And then you could just lead her straight to your place. And it kind of really is that simple as a matter of get a woman in front of you, have a fun experience with her, and lead her back to your place. Like that was, it wasn't the entirety of my game, but if you take away all the non-essentials that are discussed in the pickup community, you don't need to neg a woman to get laid with a woman. Okay, so negs are not necessary. You don't need to do peacocking to get laid with a woman. My dad didn't do peacocking when he met my mom, so peacocking is not essential for game. It's not essential for the formula of what actually works. So what does actually work? And that's kind of how I discovered the essentials of message game. The rules, skip the bullshit, lead meet. And it really comes down to meeting and exposure. Because if you maybe I'm complicating this, so let me rewind a little bit, but compliance is such a big thing. That Michael Sartain video where he was talking about attention versus compliance. I think that's the number one video guys should be looking for in this community. It is so fucking eye-opening because and this is basically what Mr. Locario talks about. If you're leading her and she follows you, she's interested. You don't need to worry about IOIs. I think I discover now in the last year or two, IOIs are pretty much bullshit. You should be looking for IOIs or reasons to make your next move because she winked at you, she looked at you, or some fucking minor expression or some shit. Stop looking for IOIs. The real, the real indicator of interest is compliance. Is she following you around? Like, I'm not talking about like following you around the nightclub, but if she, you invite her somewhere, she comes with you, and then you're like, okay, let's go to my place for pre-drinks, and then we'll go to the nightclub. She comes with you to the nightclub, and then she doesn't go home with another guy. She just like still hangs out with you, and you got other girls there, or maybe not. If you literally just say, okay, let's go back to my place, and she follows you there, you didn't really have to do any game. The only game involved was leadership and compliance. She basically just followed you home and then she follows you to the bedroom. You are leading, she is following. And I think that is the real essential if you take away all the fat of like all the things we discuss with game. That is the essential aspect of getting laid. We can talk about building attraction. I'm not really into that term or like all these techniques and whatever, but at the end of the day, is she coming back with you? And how to find out if she's interested? Like I see on Reddit all the fucking time. Is she interested? And they show a message game interaction on like Instagram or Facebook, whatever, or Tinder. Is she interested? And then everyone says, she isn't interested, bro. Give it up. Move on. And the problem is he's not leading. So he's never gonna know information if she's actually interested because he isn't leading. That's it. That's it. Such a fucking rant I could have about this. All you need to do is lead. And that's how you know if she's interested. You don't need to look for eye contact or a bunch of other minor fucking bullshit. Oh, she's interested because she said yes to me buying her a drink. I don't fucking buy girls drinks. I only did that once she became my girlfriend. I literally only did that once. You don't need to look for IOIs like, oh my God, she batted her eyelids at me or she touched her hair. Wow. No, you need to fucking lead. If she follows, she's interested. That is it. Nothing crazier than that. Like, I think that's as fucking simple as it gets. Like, yes, have conversation skills. I'm not saying like that's pointless, but those you don't need to be looking for signs. You need to be leading in the first place in order to create the opportunity to identify, oh, yes, of course she's interested. She's coming home with me. She's coming with me to the next location, to the next venue. She's following you. So the only way you can actually know that is you leading. I'm just going in fucking circles here, but that's it. Leadership, so fucking underrated. It's crazy. Anyway, I've been ranting and not paying attention to fucking chat. Oh man, this. Am I good at rants? Like, I never imagined when I was younger that I would ever be doing like YouTube videos, live streams. Like, never in my life would I ever think I would write a book or do fucking live streams. Like, what the fuck? Am I good at these rants? Should I do more? I don't know, but I hope you get my fucking point because, like we were discussing before, I did put my arm around her for 2 hours, and then I learned, oh, the whole fucking time I could have just done some leading. That's it. That's it. That's how you find out. You gotta make the fucking move or give her the opportunity to move after you. Boom. I don't think you can make it any fucking simpler than that. It's so fucking crazy. Back to the fucking chat here. God damn, I missed a lot. Okay. Let's see. I'll tell her to wait at the bar until it closes. Go strong, direct at a dude with no goal, and she has to have thick skin rejection, not a problem. Going strong, direct will not work. Blah, 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 blah. Hmm. Yeah, I guess you're just talking amongst yourselves, but yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it. I really gotta have dinner now. My family's fucking waiting for me. Father of the year. Yeah, anyway. Man, if you have questions for me, I think like what people don't get is I don't really do infield. So people who are like obsessed with that don't understand like is ice white actually good? And Mr. Locario makes a good point. Like you can just tell if someone's knowledgeable. But then again, there are guys out there who are fucking scammers who seem like they're knowledgeable and stuff like that, but their words never align with their stories or shit like that. But yeah, I like to keep things real. If you literally have any fucking questions, even about me or another coach, I'm happy to fucking help. On that note, let's fucking leave it there. How fucking productive has this been? Absolutely fucking crazy. You guys need to convince me to do more rants if that's what you want. Because I don't know, I'm not much of a ranting person. I'm not much of a speaker. My family always said to me, especially my dad, he doesn't speak much. This was when I was a kid. He doesn't say much, he doesn't speak much, but when he does, it's intelligent. That's an exact quotation from my own father. So that's kind of my personality in a nutshell, like naturally. So yeah, I'm pretty much quiet a lot of the time, but yeah, there you go. I do come out with these golden nuggets given the opportunity. I should do more shit like this. Yeah. Catch those debates in the future. Game on. Let me end this fucking live stream. GG. Oh shit, I gotta fucking click this again. Game on.